And we're now live. Yo, what's going on, everybody?
Good morning, everyone.
All
What's
right,
up,
everybody.
everybody?
It's your boy TG.
Good morning, fantasy. Good
It's your
morning,
boy
football.
Jordan.
Boy,
We're all
Rob.
Your boy
official.
Brock.
You know what I'm saying? Let me go ahead and introduce our special guest real quick for everybody out there. Everybody, this is our homie Brock. Oh no, he's on this side. He's on this side. There we go. On this side of my screen. That's our homie Brock. Brock is pretty much one of the homies, man. We all work together. For everybody, usually everybody knows that us three work together. This is our fourth homie that we talk football with all the time, and we've been wanting to get him on the show for a while. But I guess so I don't have to speak for you. Brock, introduce yourself. Tell everybody who you are, and obviously, I know you have a big football background, man. So introduce you, man. Let's take this like 5 minutes to talk to people about who you are, what you do, and everything like that.
For sure. So this is about 16 weeks in coming to get me onto the show here.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Bills fan. Been riding with them for quite some time. We've gone through the good old days with JP Lossman, gotten through Ryan Fitzpatrick, and we're ready to make a run for the Super Bowl.
JP Lossman.
Trent Edwards. I mean, we can go kind of on and on about how bad they've been, but the Bills probably are the team to win this year. So
we're kind of a quarterback away, though.
We're a quarterback away. It seems like this year we're at a defense away, which is a bit of a surprise. But with all things considered, we're gonna go take a deep run at the playoffs and probably gonna win this thing.
Yeah, man. It's gonna be pretty interesting to see. I don't know, bro. I mean, that's why I wanted to save it because, like, I think they're really good. But before we get into that, Brock, tell people about your football background, man. I really want people to know because you have a blog. I don't know if you still do it, but you have a blog. You're a coach. Tell people about your football background, man.
For sure. So played high school football up in Uxbridge. Played rep football pretty well my entire life. Mixed in a bit of hockey pretty well growing up. Played rep football, kind of played well enough to play in university, played at Wilfrid Laurier. Never played a game, but, rode the bench a little bit, but was able to learn the game. So I took that and started coaching as soon as I finished up school. Pretty well coached the last 5-6 years, without COVID in the way. We've been super successful. We sent kids down to the D1 path down in the States. We sent tons of kids to the CIS route or U Sports route now. And at the end of the day, we're a winning program. I've been lucky and fortunate enough to coach a good group of kids. And it's pretty well led me to write some blogs about the, some offensive line play in the U Sports kind of world. We've done quite a few things. So I'm looking forward to jump on this podcast today, talk some sports, and just kind of dive into to everything that you guys have been doing.
Dope, bro. I love it, man. That's amazing. So let's go ahead and jump into it, broskies. Let's get right into the Bills. As I know, obviously for everybody out there, we live in Toronto, so the Bills is like the closest thing we have to a team. But the Bills, man, they've been pretty impressive this year. I'm not surprised. I know I've been talking about how much I like, Josh Allen. All of us are big fans of him. But even from his rookie year, I used to tell Brock, like, well, one thing I was like, yo, this kid's the truth, man. Like, just watching him play, the way he can move. I think the biggest thing for me, though, is what he's done in the pass game this year, though. Like, to go from, I don't know, maybe, Brock, you'll know better, where he was, like, his passer rating was last year, from accuracy to his deep ball.
7%, yeah.
Yeah, to where he's at this year, though, it's actually fucking wild, man. Like the jump that we've seen, and it's actually I've been listening to a lot of NFL Network, and a lot of people they're almost shocked, like they're almost in disbelief that he was able to take such a jump from one side of the spectrum when it came to his completion percentage to where he's at right now at a pretty much like elite level. Brock, why do you think that he made that huge jump? Because obviously you believed it from day one, but what have you seen? What's been different? Was it just a matter of adding Stephon Diggs? Like, what do you guys think? I'll kind of leave it open because that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people talk about, his jump in the pass game, man.
Yeah, so I'll kind of start this one off. So statistically, it's been quite literally a historical jump in terms of completion percentage. I believe he was at like 57, 58%. Kind of last year even, and he's jumped all the way up to 69% this year, which is unheard of, right? So he's throwing the ball better. A little bit with that comes with when he started in the NFL, he was throwing the ball to Kelvin Benjamin and Zay Jones. If you look at today's roster with Stephon Diggs, John Brown, and Cole Beasley, how do you not go up 10%?
That's a good point.
Like he was throwing to a tight end who looked like an offensive lineman.
Mind you, his O-line was fucking brutal his first year. This guy was literally running for his life consistently. And they still won ball games. He still played very well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But even now, so they've added pieces. They've gotten better starters. They've signed some guys to some long-term deals, which is Deion Dawkins and this center Mitch Morse, and they've just constantly added pieces. Like he's not running for his life. There are some moments at the end of the day where you just see kind of like 2017, 2018 Josh, and you go, whoa, we're not sure if we really want that. And then you see him confident back in the pocket, throwing for 400-yard games. So there's been a bit of fluctuation, but he's ready to go.
I agree. Like he's definitely taking a step forward this year. I think they did put everything on him to do that. They got him the receivers he needed. They got him the pieces he needed. They've always had that stout defense, that could put up numbers, that could stop teams from scoring. So for me, I think the addition of Stephon Diggs really helped him because he's increased already. The season's not even over. He's still got a game left, and he's already over. He's at 1,300 yards over where he was last year. He has 14 more touchdowns where he was last year, and every year he's increasingly done better in touchdown scenarios. And even his interception ratio is better than last year. So he obviously is getting better, but I think the pieces obviously have helped him to get him there. And that's what you do. You build around your franchise quarterback and you give him the pieces to succeed. And I think this team, literally, the only thing they don't have in my eyes is a running back. And I think that's going to be their downfall. But Josh Allen is a running back too. So, I mean, Zach Moss is kind of coming into his own. I like where they're going. I think this team does have a shot.
Yeah, like at the end of the day, Singletary and Moss, they're just not the right dudes, right? Mm-hmm. Singletary had a glimpse of it last year where, maybe he's an every down back. But at the end of the day right now, we just need to go 5 wide, throw the ball 30, 40 times. And if Josh Allen has to run the ball 10 times for 100 yards, so be it. Mm-hmm. And we'll beat a lot of teams that way. Our defense is slowly coming on. Everyone was kind of questioning that pretty well earlier in the year, but they're a pretty locked down defense at this point. And with Josh Allen and his arm and just the amount of weapons we have these days, we're pretty well unbeatable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they look good, man. They look really good,
man. Like I told you.
Go ahead, bro. You're super
like I was saying earlier to you guys. I know. Like I was saying to you guys earlier, man, I became a Bills supporter this year, man. I'm not really a Bills fan per se. Even when they're back in 2015, 2014, I believe, when they used to play in Toronto, I went to 3 out of the 5 games that they were down here when they were down here. But just seeing just Allen, just the growth from season to season, especially with the addition of Stephon Diggs, I believe like this season is one for the books. Right, especially you guys were alluding to, his passer rating jumped. What is it, like 12%? That's a test to his work ethic, So I believe, like we all, in terms of quarterback, other players, especially the offense, they feed off the quarterback. Like Carson Wentz, his teammates they don't feed off of him. But in terms of Josh Allen, you can tell everybody on that team they believe in Josh Allen, and they believe that Josh Allen can take him to the promised land, right? So and also and what him and Stephon Diggs have been doing this season. Stephon Diggs is leading in league in reception. First of all, you have to get a quote. Even though Stephon Diggs is an elite receiver, but you still need a quarterback that can get you the rock. And Josh Allen, with his work ethic over the offseason, working on his accuracy, his techniques, and everything like that, he was able to get Stephon Diggs those touches, right? So everybody knows that Josh Allen is going to throw the ball to Stephon Diggs, but there's no way they can stop it. They have a pretty good shot this season at taking it off.
Yeah, I think so, man. This is the thing. This is where, okay, like as good as they've been, I mean, the AFC's been kind of, I don't want to say I don't want to say that the AFC's been weaker this year, but the AFC has been very, it hasn't been like, I just feel like that's what I'm trying to say is every team is very beatable. I think like maybe outside of KFC, fucking KC. But even then, they've seemed beatable, where almost like they get off to this slow start, quote unquote. I hate it because like we did an episode, Brock, back like when the season was first ever getting started, and I talked about the Kansas City Chiefs and their whole like they can turn it on and they have a switch and blah blah. And I really feel like if they do that shit, let's just say against the Bills, they're not gonna have enough time after the switch to get back into the game because I don't think there is stopping the Bills. So to me, I think the Bills have the highest chance. Even Pittsburgh, I think they're beatable because I think I don't know, man.
So you're saying they have a higher chance than Kansas City?
100%. And hear me out. And this is probably not going to be a very popular opinion because I don't believe in this whole like flipping the switch shit is going to work again. I really believe Kansas City should have lost that Super Bowl. If Garoppolo wasn't the quarterback and it was somebody better than Garoppolo, like imagine putting Alex Smith back there, even just a better game manager, San Francisco wins that game. Like when they needed to make a play, Garoppolo couldn't do it. So I mean, I don't want to say I'm kind of saying that.
But when KC needed that play, Mahomes made that play.
I get that. I understand that Mahomes can. I know Mahomes can make the play. I get that. I'm not disregarding that these guys can't make plays. What I'm saying is that this whole slow start that we've seen them, dude. Did you guys know that they have 10 come from behind wins this year? 10.
And 10 times. And what are they? What is their record? Like 13-1, 14-1?
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
That's what Kansas City does. They just keep teams in it, and they only need to try to win at certain points in the game. They just keep teams close. They did it to Buffalo. Like, I believe the Buffalo game was like an 11-point win, but they dominated.
24-17, I thought.
Yeah.
I think 24-17, 28-17, something like that.
That's what I'm saying. I think in the playoffs, man, I think that's a recipe for disaster. What I'm trying to get at is that I think the Bills do have, even with the weaknesses they have on the ground, I still think the Bills, man, I think have one of the biggest chances to get out of the AFC because everybody else seems beatable. Yeah, Lamar Jackson might be tough, but which we'll get into that later. But this guy can't seem to win a big game. I don't know if I think just because he's never going to be a great thrower of the ball, but we'll get into that later. But I think on the other side, in the Super Bowl, though, I don't think the Bills are good enough to beat the Green Bay Packers or maybe even the Saints. I think those two teams are my favorites to win it this year, man, because let's just give a playoff scenario, a Super Bowl scenario. Do you guys think the Bills have enough, or Josh Allen, these guys have enough to beat, let's just say New Orleans? I think New Orleans is a little bit better defense than Green Bay. Like, what do you guys think will happen in that matchup? Like, I think New Orleans would win it, honestly.
I think the Bills would beat New Orleans. I think the Green Bay game would be real close, but I think KC would beat the Bills. So I disagree with you. I think KC's defense is coming into their own, and their offense has been what they've been lacking lately. So in the playoffs, once they get that offense going, which they will get going, that defense is playing a lot better than it was in their Super Bowl year. So I think teams actually need to watch the fuck out for KC. Because Mahomes ain't stupid. Mahomes knows what he's doing.
Of course.
Andy Reid knows what he's doing. Andy Reid is a very smart coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. He very, very rarely gets out-coached like Bill Belichick. All right. And I don't think they'll ever lose because of coaching. And honestly, I don't see that. I think if Buffalo play KC, it's going to be a good game, but I think it's going to be the exact same game as they played them earlier, where Buffalo loses by 7 points, 10 points, truthfully, unless they mistakes happen, which they do. We've seen obviously underdogs come out and win.
Dude,
KC is the team to beat.
Here's the deal too.
Let me jump into this one quick.
Go ahead.
So we're saying that Kansas City isn't the team to beat for the Super Bowl right now.
I'm saying
they absolutely are the team to beat.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly
I think 100%.
Earlier in the season, I thought it was Indianapolis that had a legitimate shot of kind of taking the top off of that team, running the ball. They've got a phenomenal defense. They may not even get it.
Because
Kansas City, Phillip Rivers, they finally started to use Jonathan Taylor. They've got a solid defense. But at the end of the day, you have to beat Kansas City by outscoring them. The Buffalo Bills are the only team that can hang with them in the NFL right now. I actually don't even think Kansas City makes it to the championship game, and I don't even think the Bills are playing them.
Honestly, dude, and this is the thing too, where just to kind of continue this debate is because I forgot what the exact number was, you guys, but I think it was something like 16 dropped interceptions this year for Mahomes. 16. That means 16 balls have hit defenders' hands and they've dropped them. So I'm telling y'all, man, I don't know if it's luck. I don't know if it's maybe the velocity on his football is just these defenders can't catch it. But all I'm saying though, dude, is I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not disagreeing that Kansas City isn't the
Or
team
he's-
to beat. I just think they're very beatable.
Mhm.
And this time, if the Bills were to meet Kansas City in the playoffs, I don't think Josh Allen and these guys get off to a slow start. Because I'm thinking if by the time they meet, it might be the AFC conference game, like the championship. Dude, they're
that'd be
already
the only
rolling.
scenario.
There we go. That'd be the only they've already won 2 playoff games to get there. You know what I mean? I don't think it's gonna be a matter of nerves. I don't think they'd be like a slow start. No, man, I really think the opposite. I think if they get to that point, imagine this kid Josh Allen and that whole team, their confidence level. They gotta probably be looking at it, and call me crazy. Maybe they're even looking at the run that Kansas City had to win it, and they were like, dude, if we get that hot, we can also go in there and win it. Because I don't think Kansas City fears anybody on the offensive side. I don't think they fear any defense. I think they
No,
know
and
they
they
can put up like 45 points on
Exactly. They
anybody.
should. They're one play away from putting a touchdown up every play.
Yep.
Yep.
And dude, look what it's almost like Stephon Diggs has been great all year, but that week 16 game, dude, like he's ascended, man. Like,
Mhm.
you know, there was almost, if there was a question mark that he was the best wide receiver this year, week 16 solidified. And dude, that's even saying something against Devontae Adams, man. Like, what do you guys think about
Yeah.
Stephon Diggs?
I think Devontae Adams is great, but he also has one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. I think Stephon Diggs has Josh Allen in his 3rd year, who, don't get me wrong, he's a good quarterback. He's got a huge arm. Like, he's not the best quarterback in the NFL. So to have a receiver who's got the most yards in the NFL, which I don't even know if he has the most receptions, but the most yards.
Yeah, he has both right now.
Yeah, so the most yards and receptions, like, that's pretty crazy.
Yeah, he
I know
does.
you're getting the targets and everything, but you're bringing in those targets, right? So I think, to me, Stephon Diggs has a great chance, like a great argument for the best receiver in the NFL this
Yeah,
year.
I think so too, bro.
Yeah.
I think so too. Go ahead, Dara.
Yeah,
I'll give
bro.
him a second.
Like I was in regards to Stephon Diggs and in regards to Stephon Diggs and the Bills. Just going to reiterate on how you guys just saying that they have a pretty good shot at dethroning Kansas City. But with Kansas City, the one name that we always seem to forget to mention about Kansas City in terms of that offense is Travis Kelce. That's a major safety net. He's a safety net that the Bills don't have. So when the game comes down to the wire, you know, Travis Kelce he can throw out a 2-yard pass to him. He can take that to the house. He's one of the only tight ends in the league that can do that. And Mahomes, who is one of the who's already an all-time great quarterback, having having those electric receivers on the outside, and then having Travis Kelce, I just think that's just a recipe. That's a recipe for any defense. That's for any defense. Coming in. To take them out. I definitely don't see the Bills dethroning Kansas City this year. But with Stephon Diggs being one of the greatest receivers right now in the game, I definitely think so. Especially playing in Minnesota. He wasn't getting the touches that he wanted, right? But coming over to Buffalo, playing with Josh Allen. He's one of the receivers that Josh Allen truly trusts and truly believes in, right? So he's getting him the rock. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that can take a slant to the house. He can take a screen to the house. So he's one of those electric receivers in the game today. So definitely, like I said, they might fight. They might give a fight. No, they will give a fight to Kansas City, for the Super Bowl.
They will give them a fight, but I think Kansas City would have to screw a couple things up in order to lose that game.
But they do though. Like they will give
always
you
throw the
chances.
But so does Buffalo. But I think they would have to
No,
screw
they
up
don't.
more than Buffalo. I think Buffalo.
Yeah, bro. I think that's the thing, bro, about Kansas City is they will give a defense chances to make plays on them. Like, dude, look at Miami. Dude, when we saw Kansas, they got 3 interceptions on Mahomes in one game.
Mhm.
Dude, you know how many times
But
that
they
could have
still
happened
won.
this year?
But they still won.
I get that they still won
but the
because
thing was
Miami
that
ain't that team that can score with those guys.
Exactly. That's the kind of game that Buffalo's going to have to
That's the game you
have.
take
They're going to have
risks.
to pick off Mahomes 2 to 3 times, one of them being for 6 in order to beat KC. Whereas KC doesn't need that to happen against Buffalo to beat Buffalo. Buffalo, in order to beat KC, needs mistakes.
I disagree.
I mean, go ahead,
Yeah,
Brock.
even-
What do you
even-
think, bro?
Okay, I'm going to
think-
loop this
I
in
think it's a
on
little bit more.
this may be a long-winded spiel, but let me jump into it.
Go ahead.
Stephon Diggs is the best receiver in the NFL and has been since he's joined the league.
Today.
Simply put, not even today. Since he's joined the league, he was just never throwing the ball. He is leading the NFL in yards, receptions, and I was just looking at the stats super quickly. He has 4 games where he only has 6 receptions.
Wow.
How about that?
Yeah.
The last 4 weeks, he's averaging 10 and like 130 a game and a touchdown.
That's
Right?
crazy.
He is on a run right now
Better
that
his ass
quite
in.
literally only Michael Thomas did last year.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
I've been kind of preaching the whole choir about Stephon Diggs the whole year,
Since he was
and since he was drafted, I've been following him since he was in Maryland.
He's been drafted. That he's like, bro, this guy just needs to get the rock. I love
He's
him.
just the guy.
Yeah.
There's nothing he can't do. He's debatably the best route runner in the game. You know, he's up there with Keenan Allen. He's up there with Devontae. He's a deep threat guy who, until like the last 2 weeks, you've seen a deep ball shot. You haven't seen it all year, and that's what he was actually known for in Minnesota. He was the deep ball guy in Minnesota. He was just never throwing the ball, and then he would have those games where it was like 3 for 120 yards and 3 touchdowns. You've finally seen that the last 2 weeks. My kind of debate here, which is kind of more for Daryl, but you said Travis Kelce is a security blanket. Everyone knows when you play the Bills, you are getting Stephon Diggs on 3rd down, and the ball is being thrown to him. It's not if, when, or when it's going to happen. He is getting the ball, and he's going to be open. That's how it's been all year. He is Josh Allen's security blanket. Yeah, but the best part about it is they don't need to throw it to him. And we've been doing this on this 4-game run without John Brown. How about that?
I like John Brown.
And if you guys think about it too, last year, okay, John Brown was, I think he was like one of the top receivers in the NFL up until like he got injured. I think,
like week 12 or something, right?
An ankle or something,
ankle, whatever it was, and he came from like a slot receiver before that, and he became the number 1 option, and they didn't really have anyone else to cover, so people were he was getting the best corner at the time too. So for that to happen, like, John Brown is good, but that just shows how good Josh Allen is too, right?
Yeah,
like,
that's a good point.
You know,
he's able to spread the ball.
Yeah, and look at Cole Beasley. Cole Beasley played great in Dallas. Okay, and he played great under Tony Romo and Jason Garrett as a head coach at the time, and I think that's when he played his best until Buffalo. He has played better in my eyes in Buffalo than he did even in Dallas, and he's playing the same role in Buffalo. So I mean, I think that just goes to show how the success of Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is very good. I think I literally think the only team that can stop them in the AFC to get to the Super Bowl is the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And and can they win that game? Yeah, but I think, again, they need mistakes to happen. But Green Bay, I think, is the team to beat.
They're playing lights out.
They are playing
Green Bay.
Crazy. Jair Alexander is locked freaking down. All right, and that, like, with it, you have Aaron Rodgers on the other side. You've won a Super Bowl already with not even that great of a defense before. I don't think he even had that great of receivers, like, at the time. Like, he doesn't have what he has now.
And now,
I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I think he's got more weapons than he's ever had. Obviously, I think he could have better receivers, like, other than Devontae Adams, but he's never had a guy like Devontae Adams. And maybe Devontae Adams is a prodigy of Aaron Rodgers. However, they go together and they work.
Never.
And that defense, that offense, Aaron Jones running like he is, I think that team is going to be very, very hard to stop.
Yeah,
they're
I think
out
so
too. They're out. They're starting left tackle now.
Yeah, I saw that. He got hurt. In practice.
For the season, he's done.
Yeah.
So David Bakhtiari, done for the year.
Yeah, bro. And he's been one of the best O-linemen he's been good for a long time, but, like, even this year, man, like, to be able to protect his blind side, man, like, that's the
highest paid left tackle in the game.
Yeah, that could be disastrous right there, man. Like, literally one injury away sometimes from, there goes your Super Bowl run, because now you got teams that are going to attack that side. I mean, hopefully the backup that comes in, but that's pretty big, man. That's a very relevant injury.
I think they'll be fine.
I think that's a huge, huge loss.
It is a huge loss. Don't get me
too.
wrong. I still think they'll be fine. I still think they have Aaron Rodgers on the other side, so they're going to be fine.
Yeah, I know, man. But, I mean, you got to think about it, dude. It doesn't matter how good you are. If you have no time to throw, then you have no – like, it doesn't matter who you are. I mean, we've seen arguably Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. we've seen him get beat, multiple times by a good D line play. Pretty much has him rushing the whole time. To finish off on Josh Allen, man, like my
In his
thoughts
defense,
are
he has no feet.
who? Aaron Rodgers?
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. I mean,
Yeah.
he can move around. He's a
Tom
pocket
Brady.
passer, man. He's a pocket passer though. I think, like he's no Josh Allen, Russell Wilson, or these guys, but
But the thing of the
he can move around.
Mm-hmm.
He can move around. But I think as far as
linebackers and everything like that, man, these guys are running 4.5s.
Yeah. No, I know, man. It's crazy how fast the league is nowadays. But like for me to kind of finish like Josh Allen, man, like I think they will go as far as he goes. I think the better he plays, like doesn't turn the ball over. Literally, I really think that's this team's ceiling, man. This team's ceiling is how far can Josh Allen take him? And dude, this kid is showing some signs, man, where I'm like, dude, he could get hot in the playoffs. And he could literally be last year's Pat Mahomes in the playoffs. Just one of those guys, man, where he's just too hot to beat right now. Stephon Diggs could be that receiver that also gets him there, and I think the defense is just good enough to get him to the promised land, man. Go ahead, Jordan. You got something to say?
I was gonna say, that's why I really wish that. Like, I feel like if they signed, and people may think it's crazy, but I think if they signed Le'Veon Bell, I think they would be a Super Bowl favorite with Le'Veon Bell in there. I don't know why. I think they're that running back away. I think they're going to get to a point where they play a team where they can't throw the football as good, and they're going to get stumped from it. They're going to get stuck. That's truthfully my opinion. I think they're going to get to a point where they whether or not they make the Super Bowl and play Green Bay, the key to beating Green Bay is running the damn fucking football.
Yeah, but for whatever reason, we see teams not do it.
What defense is going to stop them? Right? Like they just played Pittsburgh and they put up like 45 points against them. Running the ball doesn't matter.
What it does if you go up against a team like Green Bay, it 100% matters. The teams that have beaten Green Bay, the recipe of beating Green Bay has been running that football. Teams have had a very, very tough time throwing against Green Bay. So they go up. Let's just say they get them. I'm not saying in the AFC. I'm just saying in general, they get to a point where they play up against a team like that. I think they're going to struggle.
I think any team is going to struggle. But can you outscore Aaron Rodgers? It's the exact same debate with Kansas City. Can you outscore them? Bills probably got it.
Yeah, I think the Bills can score on anybody for sure. Like as far as like if we were going to take a gamble on like, all right, who's going to score maybe 40 plus points this week? I mean, shit, I would probably take the Bills too.
And why when they played KC last time did they put up 17?
It's one of those games, man.
But that's what I'm saying. Those games happen.
Yeah, those games happen.
You need that running back. Those are the times that you need that. They weren't throwing the ball that well against KC. They couldn't keep up with KC. But
Kansas City has a good secondary.
Controlled that clock and allowed the ball in KC's hands less time, in Mahomes' hands less time, you have a better recipe to win that freaking ball game. Buffalo but that was better defense, hands down. Buffalo, I think on paper has one of the best defenses in the NFL, and they're finally coming into their own. It kind of happens every year with Buffalo. The start of the season is kind of slow with their defense, and then boom, they pick up one of the best defenses in the NFL. And that needs to happen too. We've been seeing it the last 2-3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks. That's got to keep up for them to actually make it to the Super Bowl. But I still think their Achilles heel is that fact they can't run the football that well.
Yeah,
that was also the game though. So they played Kansas City earlier in the year on a short week after COVID hit Kansas City. So they played them on a Tuesday. They played them on a Tuesday night, and that was the game where we couldn't stop the run. Right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire had like 180 on the ground. He's averaging like 8 yards a carry. Ever since then, we signed some defensive tackles. No one can run the ball anymore.
Dude, that's a good
point. Matt Milano was hurt. We didn't have Trey White was out that game, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Our defense wasn't there. Like we had pieces of it, and now it's back. It's locked up. Right?
Dude, that's a good point, man. That's a great point because the Bills have lost 3 games all on some like reschedule shit, COVID shit. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying they would have went. Yeah, you did say that the other day. I'm not saying they'd be 16-0, but like they probably could have been. Yeah, probably also 14-1 though, legit, you know. And then now imagine if they're 14-1. The Chiefs are also 14-1. Man, it'd be a bit different scenario. So
they're hosting the AFC Championship, right?
If that could be the case too. That would be a different ball game too. KC going into Buffalo. I think Buffalo's a hard place to go in and win, but it isn't.
Yeah, bro. All right, so this is the thing too, because I'm looking at because I want to get into playoff scenarios too. So just to stay on the Bills, because like this is such a great like
Mhm.
thing to talk about, man. Because like I think we're all excited they're
All right,
doing
I
really
can't
well.
stop talking about
No, I feel you. I think we're all
Trust me,
excited though
I
that they're
want the
that
Bill.
they're
I would
there.
like,
Me too.
obviously, if the Cowboys don't make it, and obviously I don't know, I'm still indifferent about the Cowboys on what
Oh,
I
we'll
want
get into that.
to happen. I know we will, but the Bills are my second team in a way. Like their closest team to home. Not to mention my favorite player
The
went there. And
Canada's
I
team, baby.
until he got to the Cowboys, obviously, and I stuck with the Cowboys. But Terrell Owens, once he's played for Buffalo, I watched every single Buffalo game, and since then I watched a lot of Buffalo games, and that's kind of when I started watching Buffalo. And I'm a big fan of Buffalo. I've still watched almost every game this year, and I've seen what they can do, and I am excited for them. So I'm excited for the playoffs, but I don't know.
I feel you, man. I feel you. So I'm looking at the scenarios because the Bills could either like for playoff scenarios, they can finish either number 2 or number 3, right? But I'm looking at either way, even if they lose or win, whatever happens today. But as far as the matchups, they're either going to go against Miami or they're going to go against Baltimore. Dude, when you really sit down and think about these two matchups, I don't think, as far as being a Bills fan, I'm not scared of either one.
Me neither.
Not at all.
Buffalo
think-
is very beatable. Or sorry, Baltimore is very beatable. They're so very one-dimensional in my eyes, and I think Miami that Tua is just not the guy, man. He's not.
No,
See,
man.
I'm more
No,
worried about
that's-
playing Baltimore than Miami.
Yeah, I agree.
Why Baltimore, though?
Oh,
I would be
100%.
more
Stop
worried
the run.
about
100%.
Miami if Patrick was there. I'm not
Because they
worried
can put
about
up points.
Yeah, like Baltimore, they have their X factor at Lamar. We've struggled to stop the run the whole year. We've done a better job at it, but it's essentially our Achilles heel is that we can't stop the run when we need to. And Baltimore's going to run it over and over and over and over again and try to take a deep shot downfield.
Okay, but hear me out on this though. The Ravens defense is nowhere near what it used to be. Dude, they're leaking points everywhere, man. Like if some of the teams that they've kind of like, quote unquote shut down, they're bad football teams. So when they play a good team, dude, they're giving up like I'd say about 4 touchdowns a game.
They can't
So
keep up.
that's what I'm saying. So now and then we've seen that Lamar Jackson, when he needs to throw, he's not the guy. Dude, his throwing motion and everything, he's not going to ever be a good thrower of the football. Hopefully he gets better for his career, but he'll never be great. I don't think so. It's his throwing motion, dude.
No, it's not about that. He's got no weapons.
It's definitely his throwing motion, dude. His throwing motion constantly, he keeps overthrowing. Like literally, his ball has an upwards trajectory, and he can't even hit a slant half the time.
He's still like all his receivers are below 6 foot, other than Des Bryant right now. He's got no one to like. He's got no
He
one.
needs some help.
No help.
He does, man. But he's even missed
Guy's
Mark
a good
Andrews.
thrower.
His deep
100%,
ball is
man.
not great either. Like, dude, how many times we've seen him overshoot a
Go
deep
watch
ball?
last year's film. Go watch his college film. You're always basing it off of this year. You can't just base it off
Man.
this year.
I'm basing it on
He's a
since
good
he's gotten
thrower.
into the NFL. He can't throw the ball, dude.
Guy
He
can
can throw a strike. Yeah, don't get me wrong, but he's never gonna be a crazy accurate thrower of the football. I think it'll be his Achilles heel. Like, hopefully he gets good enough to at least make enough throws to win maybe a championship, but he's not a great QB. Like, as far as a pure quarterback, I don't know, man. But regardless, so this is what I think could happen in that matchup is I think that Baltimore they'd fall behind by 2 touchdowns. They start to force to throw the ball, and we saw that's the recipe. That's how you beat this team. To me, Baltimore's so beatable. Make
100%.
Lamar Jackson need to be a quarterback, and they're going to win the game. Look what Tennessee did to him, dude. Tennessee got such a lead, and everybody's like, "Oh, the Ravens came out flat." And blah blah. Lamar Jackson, these guys had like 3 or 4 games off. No, man, like they do not play good from behind, and I think the Bills would jump out to a big lead, and they would win that game easily. I think.
So here's
Miami.
my only concern: if the Bills have their off game and Lamar doesn't have to play quarterback and he just has to run the ball, we're in for a long day.
Potentially.
Right? If we put up 14 points in the first quarter,
that being said, though. But one thing that we seem to be forgetting that this is going to be Josh Allen's first playoff run, right? So first, we still have to see how he's going to act in game 1 of the playoffs and see if he's going to have playoff jitters, first game jitters, whatever. Lamar Jackson, he already got through all of that. He already got dealt with by Bill Belichick last year by Mahomes. So he has something to prove this season, right? So we have to see what Josh Allen is going to bring to the table in his first game. Obviously, we know what he's done. We know his body of work in the regular season, but the regular season and the postseason, those are two totally different animals. We still
Right.
have to see how Josh Allen is gonna perform during those time. But like with me personally, I just believe that I would give the edge to Baltimore just because Lamar has been there. He has been there,
He's been
and
terrible.
But he's
like
been
Jordan
there
Lamar's
was
and
been
alluding to, he doesn't
terrible
have
in
the
the
weapons.
playoffs.
I'm gonna stop you right there. He's been there and
That's a
lost.
good point, dude.
He's been there and lost. Josh Allen was there last year.
Josh was one play away in
They were one
overtime
play away. They
on a
lost
defensive play
like 3 points against Houston, or 4 points against Houston last year.
in overtime.
And that wasn't. I don't even think that was Josh Allen's fault that game.
No.
And he didn't have the weapons he has this game. They have a better this time. They have a better O-line. They have a better O-line. They have better receivers. He's better. Their coaching experience with, I think that was as a coaching experience, that was their first time. I think they do have experience now. Okay, and they don't have to worry about fucking Bill Belichick and shit this year. Okay, they don't have to worry about that shit. They don't have to worry about a Houston team. They go in and play a Miami team where Tua can't throw a fucking ball. Okay, or you go into Baltimore where Lamar Jackson doesn't have anyone to throw to.
You know what though,
We're
man?
going anywhere.
I
We're
think
playing in Buffalo.
I think Daryl's right
remember
though, man. Daryl does have a really good
Yep.
point because, dude, it is his third playoff run now, and dude, there's been so much talk about like, I mean, remember when the season first started, you guys? It was always the Lamar versus versus Mahomes. It was supposed to be the Lamar Mahomes was going to be the new Brady Manning. And then
Belichick.
almost like Josh Allen
Yeah.
was like, "Yo, put some respect on my name, bro. Like, don't hand him the crown yet." But that is a very, very. I think it's a good point, y'all, because we've all played football. We've all like watched it, dude. Teams do change when the pressure's on, man. And he's right. What if the first, maybe first two drives of the game, Allen's a little off, the whole offense is off. Almost they're just too hyped. They got too much going on. And then like you said, the opposite happens. And then all of a sudden, Baltimore puts up 14 quick points on the ground, and now you got a different game flow now.
I don't think it's going to be the lack of experience on Josh Allen's behalf. I don't think it's going to be the experience on Lamar Jackson's behalf, because in my eyes, Lamar Jackson has his worst team right now bringing to the playoffs this year, if they make it, whatever is going to happen. Truthfully, that's the way I feel about that. The only thing that I think it could come down to is, an experience-wise, is John Harbaugh being the head coach of the Baltimore Ravens. He's a very, very, very good head coach. And he's been to the Super Bowl, he's won a Super Bowl, and he's been to the playoffs more than anybody on Buffalo or Baltimore right now. Okay. Yeah. So that's the only guy when it comes to experience factor that I would worry about.
So let me paint a picture really quick. Lamar Jackson has 2 games in the playoffs. He has a 51% completion percentage and 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions in 2 games. Does that scare anyone?
No.
Right?
No.
When we're talking about momentum heading into the
that
playoffs,
first game,
yeah, so we're heading into the playoffs. In the month of December, Josh Allen is 75% completion, 323 yards per game, 12 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns, and 1 pick.
Oh,
I do not want him.
That's crazy. And the kid can.
You don't want him?
Dude.
Same, bro. Their offense is better than Baltimore's. Their defense is better than Baltimore's. Their defense is compatible with Miami, but their offense is way better than Miami. So I don't see them losing either
I think
team.
it's cruise control both games. I think Baltimore just gives us trouble if we have a bad game.
Dude, call me crazy, you guys. I think the worst matchup, I'm not saying they scare me, but if I was the Bills, I'd rather play Baltimore than Miami. Because to me, Miami's defense to me is the truth, man. Baltimore's defense not very good this year, but yeah, they might be able to put up some points on you. But like in the playoffs, we see how big defenses come through in the playoffs. It's cold, the pressure's on. Man, defenders make plays. Like I believe I'm still old school where I think the defense does win you championships. Don't get me wrong, when you got a team that can put up 45, but if you got on the other side of the ball, your team only giving up, 14-21 while your offense can put up, 28, 35, 42. Bro, that's going to win you a ring. But I think Miami, is the tighter matchup, man, because, dude, I really think Miami's defense is that good. Like, I really think they are the real deal. And what if, let's just throw a scenario. What if Josh Allen throws 2 interceptions in that game? Dude, that's a game they could lose because the Dolphins could maybe make some kind of crazy run. What if the coach is like, oh, shit, we got a chance. Throw Fitzpatrick in. I'm not saying Fitzpatrick is fucking, he's
that's when I'm worried, though. That's
but like Fitzpatrick,
when I would
he plays with no fear. Yeah, he can make plays, man.
If we're talking about a Dolphins team with Fitzpatrick,
They're a different team. It's a different team.
Totally different conversation. We're talking about a Dolphins team that can hardly run the football and they can't even pass the football. And the worst, and Brock pointed it out, the worst thing about Buffalo, okay, is their run defense, and they have done better in that. But Buffalo or Baltimore or Miami won't be able to throw against this team. I would be more scared against Baltimore for one, the experience, but they had John Harbaugh. Two, I would be more because they can run the damn football, like Brock said. That's my fear about Baltimore. I still don't think they'll be able to keep up because, like you said, Baltimore's defense isn't as good.
Yeah.
But Miami, they also have played Miami enough to know how Miami plays.
But also Miami has played them enough too. It's a two-way street.
I know it goes both ways, but they know that defense to the point where I don't think Miami will be able to keep up with them offensively.
Dude, I hear you, but there's something that scares me about when you're playing with house money. And Miami is playing with house money, dude. They weren't even supposed to be here. Like, dude, they were in the playoff race and they made the quarterback switch anyway. They were like, well, I get where, what were they, like 5-2 or whatever the record was. They went into a winning record in the playoffs. And they still made the switch to Tua. Like, I think right now they don't even care, dude. Like, if they miss the playoffs, this say after the games today, I don't think they're tripping about it because they have like a plan. But let's say they do get into the playoffs, they're like, well, fuck it, man, we're here. Let's see if we can win a couple ball games. Like, I don't want to play a team like that because there's no pressure, there's no fear to win or nor fear to lose a game. Like, they're just gonna go out there and play some football. And I don't know, man. It could be like that college effect. You know what I mean? Like when these guys played in college, man. That's why some people prefer watching the college game because a lot of these guys are, they're just playing for the love of it. 90% of them aren't going to the NFL. So I don't know. I think the Dolphins, if they go against the Bills, that's the matchup that if I'm going for the Bills, I don't want to see them, dude. I think I'd rather see Baltimore straight up. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but I'd rather see Baltimore.
I think today's game will be telling.
At the end of the day, man, you still need a quarterback. I think you still need a quarterback that can at least throw the ball down the field. Tua, from all games that I've witnessed him play this so far this season, he's too safe. There's safe, and then there's. I think he's borderline extremely safe, man. He's not in the receivers down the field, and also just look at last week when Fitzpatrick came in the game. He was extending that field, especially in the playoffs, man. You have to be able to utilize the field. He wasn't able to do that, so that's why they made that switch to Fitz. I feel like that as of right now, I would rather play the Dolphins than the Baltimore Ravens because
okay.
I think we lost them. I lost them. Let's move on to. Go ahead, bro. You got one more thing?
Before we move on, I was going to say that you were touching on how the Dolphins don't care if they win or lose, right?
Yeah, I feel like they're playing with house money for sure.
If that's the case, why did they bench Tua last week and put Fitzpatrick in to win the game?
They think they have a shot.
That's a good point. But I mean, at this point, it's like they needed to win to at least stay into the playoffs. Like,
that's my point, because they want to win.
Yeah, they want to win. You're right. And they probably at this point, they're like, we won enough games. Let's get into the playoffs. Let's at least finish the season to where we can get to the playoffs at least. But, I mean, I still don't think, like, I don't know, man. The fact that they switched to Tua, because I felt like if they really, really cared about winning as much as they want to win this year, you don't make that switch. Your team is rolling. The team is behind Fitzpatrick. The receivers love him. Like, dude, it is his football team through and through. And they make a fucking switch to a rookie, man. Like, that to me, since that day, I'm like, dude, Miami, whether depends, no matter how far they go, they're not playing to do nothing crazy this year. That's why I'd rather not see them, because they're like, all right, fuck it, let's try some trickery out there. Let's see what the defense is. They'll probably blitz freely. I don't know, man. I've just seen too many good teams lose to that type of football team. I kind of remember when the Giants won the Super Bowl at 9-7. Dog, they were playing with house money, guys. Like, they literally got to the playoffs barely. I think they needed to win week 17, which they did. And didn't they beat the Patriots in week 17? That year when they beat the Patriots. I think it was the Patriots they beat.
No, I think they lost them because the Patriots went undefeated that year. They lost.
You're right. My bad.
They almost beat.
But it was a close game. That's right. I remember.
But you got to think of this too. Okay, in that scenario, you had the Giants who had a bunch of older players ready to retire, and how many times you've seen when you get in the playoffs, like the Pittsburgh Steelers did it with the bus. Okay, they those older players, they come to you, they come to Eli Manning, they go to those players and say, "Let's get us there. Let's get us
Yeah.
that. This is our
Yeah.
shot." Okay, Miami's not like that. Miami doesn't have that. They don't have that heart, that want.
Fitz.
No,
He's like
hey, but he's not
55.
playing.
They
But he's not
benched
playing.
him.
No, I know.
He's out.
They don't have that heart. They don't have that want. New York Giants, they had Strahan, they had Tuck, they had Eli, they had it was out the year where they had Plaxico Burress. Those guys were all on their way out. They're like, yo,
Yeah.
let's get us there. Let's
You're right.
go. They had that heart. Heart goes a lot further than talent. Okay. In Buffalo's got a heart.
So I'm just saying, Miami's got a lot of heart too, man. Like that team, like they're playing with heart all year. Like, dude, I don't know. I don't want to see
Miami's coaching. Okay, for that reason, you going back and forth these quarterbacks. How are you going to trust? How are you playing with heart? No, you're telling me you're going to start Tua all game, and then when we're down, you're going to put Fitzmagic in because you know we have a chance to win. Then why the fuck isn't this guy playing the whole time?
He got it done, and he got it done. I'm just saying that's the crazy.
And go back to Tua.
And then how do you prepare against like two quarterbacks, like two completely different quarterbacks? You know what I mean?
You don't have to. You hope they play Tua and then you win.
Yeah, no, that's true. Let's keep it moving though, bro. I mean, that's what you want. Like you want them to play Tua because I've never been big on Tua. Like we'll definitely, Brock, I want you back on the show, especially about the draft because you guys keep up with college players a lot. And dude, I've never been big on Tua since he was in college. His injuries, his throwing motion to me is weird. I don't know, man. There's so much. I don't think he's ever going to be an elite quarterback.
And then that injury.
Yeah, but then look who he's throwing to his whole career. Like, and it's Alabama. I don't know. But let's keep it moving, bros. I want to talk about the NFC East scenarios because this one's fucking crazy today, y'all. So like
crazy all year.
Yeah, the NFC least. The crazy thing is though, as bad as the NFC least has been, it's been pretty dope the second half of the season. Like there's been a lot of good football that they're playing, close games. Mm-hmm. Washington's been surprisingly until like Haskins came in. God, that guy's terrible.
I think if Alex Smith has been in this whole time, we're not even talking about this conversation right now.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Washington would be in.
Yeah, it'd be a done deal. But let's get into that, man. I want to get into the Cowboys, though, because I think the Cowboys are the most shocking team for all of us. Dude, if you just take the last 3 games, the Cowboys, I think, are 3-0, right? And look at their defensive numbers, though. This is what's crazy. This defense was historically bad. But defensively in the last 3 games, they're like, I don't want to say they're playing elite, but they're making plays, dude.
They're turning the ball over. They're making plays. They're allowing points. But they're still making plays.
But they're making plays. They're getting turnovers. And I mean, at the end of the day, dude, I mean, as much as the way today's NFL, man, the way the rules are, you can't hit the quarterback. It's almost like the league wants points scored. But if you can have a defense that can create some turnovers, man, it changes everything. I think turnovers is one of the biggest factors, man, to some of the greatest defenses that I think we've all ever seen play. One thing that they all shared is they got a lot of turnovers, man. They had safeties back there causing fumbles, interceptions, sacking quarterbacks, sack fumbles, whatever. But let's just get into it this game. Like, let's get into that matchup, guys. It's going to be basically the scenario. Cowboys versus Giants. Giants win, Washington loses, Giants are in. Cowboys win, Washington loses, Cowboys are in. Who wins today's matchup? We'll start there. Who wins? Cowboys, Giants. We'll go this way or this way. So, Brock, you start it, and then we'll finish at Daryl, man.
So here's the thing. The Cowboys, they're a decent team. They kind of just show up in glimpses. Seems like they go games on end without throwing the ball to CeeDee Lamb. Who knows why?
I know. Crazy.
They throw that youngster the ball. They're going to win some games.
I agree.
The New York defense, sporadic. It shows up. They're a hard fought team. I think it was Jordan earlier in the year, don't bet against the Giants. They're gonna cover a lot of games, right? They have this new coaching staff. They're playing well. They have no talent. At the end of the day, they have no talent, but they're playing good football. I think the Giants squeak out maybe a field goal to win. At the end of the day, maybe it sends the Cowboys home.
Wow.
I don't see it that way. The Giants defense has been good all year, but that offense has very, very, very tough time moving that football.
They're bad, man.
But what Andy Dalton are we going to get?
I know what Dallas.
That's the X factor for me is Andy Dalton.
Andy Dalton has been looking fairly consistent in the last 5 games now. 6 games. And he's played very well. And the only reason that I think that we're not 5-0 under Andy Dalton or whatever since his injury is because of our defense, truthfully. And I think that with the way our defense is turning the ball over and making these plays, I don't think that offense will be able to keep up with our offense. I think we go ahead and we win this game I think we win 27-17, 27-20. But I still don't think it's good enough because Philadelphia, I don't think is going to beat Washington.
I mean, to me, I think it's possible. But Duro, what do you think about the matchup, bro?
I think we lost him.
Do we lose him?
Clear.
All right, cool. I'll jump in and then he can go after me. But like for me, dude, I think the X factor in today's game is definitely Andy Dalton. I think Andy Dalton is a veteran, dude. He's been a starter in the league for I don't know how many years, and we've seen him play great. Arguably, when he had, TJ Huzmanzada and Ocho Cinco, like we've seen him put up some really good numbers. He's been a Pro Bowl in the league, Pro Bowler. I think he's a good quarterback. Like he's not great, but he's a good quarterback that can win a game when, like you said, when he's on. And he has been playing well. I think he's been playing well the last, outside of that, spot start when Dak went down and then he had to try to start the next game. And then didn't he, like, was it COVID that took him out, right? And then they had to start.
It was an injury. Then he was come back and practice. Then he got COVID and was out another 2 weeks or
yeah. So exactly. So and just like back to alluding to what Brock said, new offense, new coaching, new everything, right? And then you gotta it's been a disaster. Like these guys haven't had an off season because of COVID, but every team has. But like regardless, there's been 3 different quarterbacks in a very new system, new everything, new play calls, new communication, new timing. Like, dude, that shit's crazy already. And the fact that they've been able to somehow salvage the season down to the point where if they win with somebody losing, they can make the playoffs. I think it's fucking crazy.
They're lucky because of the division they're in, but
I know, but it's still wild, right? But I think Dalton is the X factor today. I don't know what's going on with is Andrew Jones? Is that his name in New York?
Daniel
Jones. Sorry, dude. I liked him last year, and I thought like maybe the Giants were geniuses, and because they were like, why the fuck did they pick him? But then this year he looks terrible. Like, and apparently he's playing for a quarterback's offensive coordinator. He's like the quarterback's coach. He's like he builds quarterbacks, Jason Garrett. But man, this kid looks terrible this year. He can't make a throw.
He's a new offensive coordinator.
I know, man, but there's
new coaching there too.
But there's throws Jones is missing, dude, that NFL quarterbacks aren't supposed to miss. Like just simple throws, like when a deep ball and you got, basically you either going to throw it to the sideline because the middle of the field is covered, or you're throwing it towards the middle of the field because it's not covered. Dude, there was Slayton. I forgot what game I was watching, but dude, Slayton was wide open. Probably, like honestly, dude, on every deep ball out of every deep route he ran, he was probably open more than 50% of the time. And the 3 shots that I saw Daniel Jones threw him, bro, he overthrew it to the sideline when he had it wide open, dude. If he literally just makes the trajectory of the ball go towards the middle of the field, that's a touchdown every time. But it's shit like that, though. They're like NFL quarterbacks aren't supposed to miss those throws, and that's what he's missing this year. Dalton, I don't think he's gonna miss those throws. Like dude, what was it against? I forgot what team they wanted in the fourth quarter. Was it a bullet to CeeDee Lamb? Dude, some of those throws he's throwing to Amari Cooper in the back of the end zone. Like, dude, Dalton in the red zone is starting to get real dangerous. Like, I know this shit sounds crazy, but Dalton in the red zone is looking pretty good, man. Like, go ahead.
Dalton, okay, he was decent in Cincinnati, but he never actually had great weapons. Okay, he didn't have a team like Dallas has right now. Now Dallas's O-line is fucking. I think they're picking people up off the streets. That doesn't help, but okay, it doesn't matter. Like he's been playing a lot better. I think he's playing like he was in his good years in Cincinnati right now, and that's why And I think when you look at the teams, when teams look at the Cowboys on paper next year, they're going to be good. Okay, again, they're going to be a Super Bowl favorite because on paper they are a very, very good team, and I think that Washington and New York needs to look at that in their draft position right now in their draft spot and think, okay, are we really going to go with Alex Smith next year again or 2 years down the road? Maybe we're better off losing this, trying to get one of them good quarterbacks right now that are going to be out there. And same with the Giants. Is Danny Dimes? Do we even pay Danny Dimes a fucking dime? I wouldn't. Yeah. Okay, I wouldn't even pay him a penny. They don't even exist anymore. So honestly, I think if I'm in one of those teams, I'm looking at it a different way right now. I'm looking at like the future. Okay, let's look at it. Do we have the talent to go and win the Super Bowl? Can anyone win the Super Bowl if they make the playoffs? Yeah, we've seen it happen. We've seen teams make it there, whatever. But if the reality of it all, both those teams in my eyes need a quarterback. Dallas doesn't. Dallas doesn't need anything draft position wise to actually go ahead and lose this game for a draft position.
Whereas, I mean, maybe they could use another good D lineman. I mean, maybe. What do you guys think? Maybe it's best for the Cowboys to lose.
Jerry Jones just needs the ego boost. That's all he needs.
Exactly. I don't think it has to do with the roster itself. Our roster is actually good. Okay, even if we end up getting in the playoffs and we get a later draft pick, we can still get that corner or safety that we actually need. Okay.
Or why not lose the game and go pick up another old lineman? Like, dude, I'm pretty sure there's some pretty big old linemen that they can get in the first round that are probably really good. I'm pretty sure Brock would probably know better than that, but better than us. But like,
they don't.
I
Really
don't know.
They
Dude,
only
They need help in the secondary, and
Yeah.
like honestly, the Cowboys have a ton of talent, right?
Mhm.
Both offensively and defensively. They're just not gelling defensively, right?
Mhm.
Like they spent a first rounder last year on a corner, Diggs as well as brother or cousin or something
No, they
like that.
drafted Diggs in the second.
It was a second round pick. At the end of the day, their defense just isn't where it needs to be with the amount of talent they have. Like,
Mhm.
where's DeMarcus Lawrence been? Right?
Actually, the last two games he's been out there. Have you watched?
yeah, I know, but like
yeah, but as
all
an
year though.
elite D end,
Yep.
4 games isn't enough.
But
Not
then
enough.
I agree.
also because of the way they actually started off playing, they had so many D linemen that they were rotating guys in and out to keep them healthy. But that doesn't work because as a D lineman, you need to figure out the other guy on the other side of you. Okay, so for me, DeMarcus Lawrence, ever since they've gotten rid of McCoy, ever since they got rid of Poe, ever since they got rid of these guys that they brought in. Okay, that defensive line has really stepped it up and played a lot better. And you have seen Lawrence out there because they're not rotating these guys in and out like they used to do. Okay, Griffin's gone. They had too many people, and Mike Nolan thought it's going to be good to get fresh legs in there, rotate. No, it doesn't work that way from in my eyes, and it's shown. All
Yeah.
right? That's where
I think my argument would be, Jordan, is, even if DeMarcus Lawrence is playing on a limited snap count, does this just show that he's not good enough in the film room where he can't win with limited reps? Like, he's an elite DN that you're going to pay $17 million a year or $20 million a year. How can he not win?
But I don't think I think DeMarcus Lawrence also got paid because of one season. I don't think DeMarcus Lawrence was as good as everyone thinks that he was actually out to be. And I think he's a solid defensive end, but I don't think he's actually one of the top defensive ends in the league. And I've never thought that. I think he had a really good season, and since then he hasn't actually had that great of a season. I don't think he's even gotten 10 sacks since then. And that happens. And he said he's been pretty injury prone. So I'm not saying he's out there as one of the best defensive ends in the league, but he's good enough, okay, to consistently be out there and actually make plays happen. Do we overpay him? Yeah, but we overpay a lot of people. It's just the way.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Daryl, bro, can you hear us? You back?
Yeah, I'm back, baby. How do I sound?
Cool, bro. Yeah, you sound good.
I think draft position wise, I definitely think that Washington and New York would benefit from losing. I think the Cowboys would benefit from losing too, because I don't think any of those teams have a chance to go to the Super Bowl, to be honest.
Yeah, man. If it was me, I would lose the game. Go get a better draft pick.
The best team in my eyes to go and actually make something happen this year in the playoffs would be the Cowboys, because I don't think Washington's got it.
Yeah, bro. I don't know. Daryl, now that you're back, bro, what do you think about the matchup, man? Giants, Cowboys, that's pretty much a playoff game today for them, for both teams. They both need to win
100%.
with a Washington loss. Who wins the game and why, bro?
What a way to freaking end the season, man, especially for Jason Garrett, especially.
Yeah, good point.
The ex head coach.
Season finale.
The Dallas Cowboys. What a way for him to play spoiler stuff for the Dallas Cowboys. So definitely, I think that's motivation for him and his team coming into this game today. So even though that Jordan alluded to that, the Cowboys had the better quarterback, but Jason Garrett, he has something to play for, man. All the Cowboys fans out there, they never believed in Jason Garrett. They were always saying that he was the reason as to why the Cowboys were always floating in the middle of the pack. But we saw that this season, it wasn't only Jason Garrett. So I believe that, me personally, I believe that the Cowboys are going to win because they have the best quarterback between the two teams, as well as in terms of the weapons they have. Amari Cooper, Gallup had an amazing game last Sunday. CD Lamb, he's playing like an extraordinary rookie, as well as Zeke. I think last Sunday he looked the best as I've ever seen Zeke. So even though I believe that the Cowboys might pull it off this Sunday, but the Giants, it's not going to be an easy win. It's definitely going to be a low scoring game that the Cowboys defense is definitely going to show up today. But in regards to the Washington football team, is it Alex Smith that's starting in the backfield there?
I believe so.
So we still have to see how Alex Smith is holding up, especially he's coming off was it a calf injury? So
Mhm.
we still have to see how he's going to perform. And also if McLaurin is playing, we don't know what his status.
He's playing. He's back too.
Perfect. So
He's
that's
back
his
too. I just saw. Yep.
perfect. So he got his weapons, and also back to the Giants and Cowboys game. As I was alluding to earlier, um, in regards to the quarterback play, Danny Dimes also is coming off a hamstring injury, so we don't really know what Danny Dimes is going to be capable of on the field today, right? So we'll see, especially
I bet there's a big run today.
yeah, and drops at 1 yard line.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, I don't know, bro. I mean, as much as it should be simple, Washington should win today, so it shouldn't matter what happens. But I mean, to what I think about the Cowboys Giants game, I'm excited for it. It's definitely one that I'm going to tune into today because I love the storyline behind it. Yeah, like
Mhm.
homeboy coming back to his old team. But there, dude, it's crazy to me how like these two teams have been so bad this year. Showed flashes of pretty good football, but they've been so bad. It's wild to me that they have a chance to still make the playoffs. But I think it's going to come down to what Cowboys team are we going to get today? Because like no matter how good the Giants play, I think when the Cowboys play the way they're supposed to, it's not even going to be close. Honestly, I really think today's game. I think the Cowboys are going to score some points, man. I got the Cowboys putting up over 30 points today. Because I think the recipe, what Brock said, they're right, bro. When they throw that ball to CD Lamb, good things
Mm,
happen, man.
mm.
They're a
Amari
different team.
Cooper, bro, Amari Cooper's so elite, man. He's had so many different quarterbacks, and look what he's still doing this year. Like every time when you just watch him run routes, you're like, dude, how does this guy not get the ball every time they throw it? Like he's always open, seems like. But I think CD Lamb, Amari Cooper, dude, look at Michael Gallup. Like, yo, this guy can snap too. I just think offensively, if they can do a nice balance, I like Tony Pollard a lot too. Tried to do, I think what they're trying to do is, make Dalton do a little bit less reads. Not that he can't read multiple routes, but less reads, get the ball out of his hand quicker. And I don't know, man. I think the Giants are imploding. I know their defense played really, really good last 2 or 3 games or whatever it was, the second half of the season. They don't seem like they're that like right now. I think they're at a low. I think the Cowboys will win it because I think Dalton will get them there. Maybe they'll make a couple plays. I think Dalton will win the game for him. I think Danny Dimes is going to be the reason the Giants lose. I think he'll give the ball away a couple times today. But what I want to get onto is the Washington game, though. Y'all, I think as much as it should be an easy win for Washington because like apparently Eagles aren't playing anybody, but they're still going to play. I think Fulgham and Ward and some of these like B player teams we've seen them do some pretty crazy
And D
things
Jack is
with.
also playing.
Yeah, there you go. If Deshaun Jackson's playing, that changes everything. And I really think that I don't think even though the Philly is they don't have anything to play for, I don't think Jalen Hurts wants to lose this game, dude. I think if he balls out today, I think he has a chance to be the starter for the Eagles next year. And I think they move on from Wentz. I
I
think
think he
Jordan,
already
you
won
were
that
saying,
role.
Jackson's injured, by the way.
Oh,
oh
is
fuck,
it?
there you go. Never mind. So no Jackson. Either way, I still think he'll be able to throw the ball to somebody. He'll move
What?
around. Washington's defense is pretty good, but I mean, to me, they're still the Washington football team, and they're not a great team. I don't think any team in this NFC East is great to where they're like, oh yeah, they're fucking. They all can beat each other on a good day. To me, their records are all similar because they're all pretty similar teams as far as talent, injuries, you name it, man. Just the scenarios that go on for each one. I mean, dude, I think Philly was gonna win this game today. I think Philly wins, which
I
shocks a
like
lot of
Philly in this
people.
one too.
I hope
Me
so.
too. I think
I,
Philly's gonna put on points, man.
I think if Philly played if they had everyone playing like they did last week, I think they win this game. I just don't. I don't know who the hell they're going to play. So for that reason, I think Washington wins. Alex Smith being there, that defense is good. I really fucking hope because honestly, at the same time, as much as I don't want to make this playoffs, I would love to see us in the playoffs.
Yeah, bro, but like, dude, honestly, man, like, think about it. Like, as Washington has been really good, but like, let's really try to break down each matchup. I think the biggest impressive win was against Pittsburgh because nobody saw that coming. But Pittsburgh was playing pretty shitty too, though. Like Big Ben did not look great. He couldn't move around. Like it didn't even look like he can get into his like just his normal reads, man. He looked. I don't know what was going on in that game, but he looked terrible, dude. Like he did not look good. He looked like a brick trying to throw a football back there. Jalen Hurts is not that guy, man. Jalen Hurts will extend plays. I think, I heard some chatter today that apparently they want to try to salvage a relationship with Wentz and maybe try to go back to him next year. I think it's all BS. I think they're ready to move on from Wentz, and also heard that they're bringing back their head coach, and their head coach is not coming back to have another shit season. I think they're bringing him back because they think like, hey, with a couple more pieces, maybe we can make another Super Bowl run again. I think today Jalen Hurts is going to go off again. I think Washington loses.
Good.
Dallas wins, and I think Dallas gets into the playoffs. That's what I truly think is going to happen today, man, in that NFC East scenario, which would be pretty fucking wild, actually. I don't think the Cowboys should win, though. I think they should lose to get a better draft pick, which I want to kind of segue into that, man. Like, you don't think so, bro? Like, you don't think they should lose?
I don't think that they don't. I think if you get a good draft pick, I don't think that they need that top tier talent unless they're not going to sign Dak. I'm going for it. Because they can get an O-line mid round if they need one. They can get a corner like they did mid round. But even still, a rookie's not going to come in and save our season next year.
No, but look at CeeDee Lamb though. Look at Justin Jefferson. Like, look what these good rookies can do for a football team.
They can. Offensively, they will. Defensively, a rookie in my eyes isn't going to come in and save my season.
Chase Young.
And that's the way I see it. Yeah, but we're not going to get the first overall pick. There's no player like that this year defensively that I know of, at least, that we're going to be close enough to draft. So in my eyes, you go for what you can. You're going to get a later round pick, and it is what it is. You guys have had that your whole lot for a long, long time. CD ended up falling to us last year, which was a gift. Okay, but regardless, we don't need any more offensive weapons.
Or get an O-lineman, dude. Like, how important? But dude, depth though. Look how important depth has been this season because guys are going down left and right.
We can sign them or draft them in the later rounds, which they're going to draft. Trust me, we will draft O-lineman. It may be a first round pick, but it'll be a later first round pick. It'll be a late second round pick. Okay, they're not going to go and draft an O-lineman right now in the top 10 rounds, and they're not going to lose that game to do that.
But if the Cowboys lose today, do they get it? Is it a top 5 pick, guys? Like, are they?
It's in the top 10.
Top 10 though.
I think it's like 8 kind of range.
Yeah.
Bro, you can get a really good player top 10 in the NFL draft.
I get it, but they don't need it.
I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
you spend that at corner.
They will sign someone in free agency at corner or at safety this year, hopefully, or whatever they do. But we don't need an offensive weapon. They don't need an O lineman. They don't need a D lineman. They don't need a linebacker. They need a corner or a safety, and that is all.
So I don't know, man. I just think this season's been so shit. There's so many injuries. Like, fucking lose it and get a good draft pick. Get an off season going. Like, just get ready for the next year. Like, what's the point of making the playoffs?
Look at the history of the Cowboys' early draft picks. Look at the history of the Cowboys' early draft picks. They amount to nothing.
Man, that's a Jerry Jones problem, I think.
It's not a Jerry Jones problem.
That often relates to Jordan. He drafts based off of the position and just not the best available player. At the end of the day, don't draft for what your team needs. Improve your team's talent.
Morris Claiborne, one of the best corners in that draft, was supposed to. He actually slid a little bit apparently in that draft.
Oh, yeah, that was nice.
Bust.
Yeah, but you're going to get bust. Every team gets bust.
Every team gets bust.
At the end of the day, the last time I can remember us doing that. But something that the Cowboys actually do is they thrive on that talent later in the draft. They have so many later draft picks that are actually still on the roster that are studs.
But they haven't won a Super Bowl in how long, bro? That recipe's not working. They need to do something else.
It's not about the recipe of their draft. Historically, the Cowboys are actually one of the best drafting teams. Okay, it has nothing to do with the draft. That actually has to do with their coaching that they had, their inability to fucking go ahead and win certain games because of certain players. But that didn't have to do because of the draft.
I don't know.
Yeah, their coaching has been a problem for a long time.
Yeah, their coaching is a problem.
They draft very, very good, bro. The only thing that the drafting has nothing to do with why they haven't won a Super Bowl in a long time at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think the whole thing. I think there's you get lucky in the draft. I think you have to have good coaching, dude. Winning a Super Bowl is not easy, man. I think you got to have a lot of things go right for you.
Gotten very lucky in the draft. Look at Dak Prescott. Look at Jalen Smith. Look at Randy Gregory has had a ton of issues, but he's a very good player. Look at DeMarcus Lawrence.
Jalen Smith was supposed to be a first round pick.
Yeah, look at CeeDee Lamb. We have gotten very lucky in the draft. We've done very well at drafting. Look at all of our O-line. Our O-line was the best in the league because of drafting. Drafting is not our issue by any means.
I get that. I'm not saying that it's
so how do you change going from 9-7 and 8-8 every single year? What's the missing piece?
Honestly, I would put that on coaching, and that's what we changed. And this year, they just didn't have a lot of work. Look at all the teams that got brand new head coaches this year. Where are they? Bottom
they're
of the
struggling.
because there is no time. All these teams that have replaced all of their coaching staff and their rosters, whatever they did, they've had no time to get to things together, and they're all struggling to win games. Even
100%.
Tampa's struggling to win games under a new Brady.
No preseason
Brady
hurts.
Brady told you at the beginning of the season, I didn't have time to work with some of these guys. That's why I can't get this out route. I can't throw that out route properly. That shit matters. So
I agree.
I think we're looking at these Cowboys and a season that really was shit. But you look at them as a whole. You look at them as a whole as a team. You look at their coaching staff. That team is good. They're ready. Next year, they're ready. As what it seems like. Obviously, if they come out and they put up a dud again, then I can't tell you what the issue is. But on paper, everything looks perfect. And the only thing I can chalk this season up to is the lack of inexperience. And maybe our defensive coordinator had to go.
I think he had to go a while ago. But then they're starting to make some plays. I don't know, man.
That's what I'm saying. That's not a lack of draft.
Yeah, so then that's what I mean. So if it's not a problem, dude, I just don't think they should play to win. Okay, maybe not say play to win, but like I just think for these guys in the future, if the Cowboys want to start building even better to get actual, like, you don't bring Mike McCarthy and these guys in to not make a Super Bowl run. Dude, fucking lose today. Like I just feel like going to the playoffs, what's he gonna do? Give them a moral victory? It's basically like, hey, we were the best of the shit of our division. Like,
because if they can actually start getting things going as they have, they can actually make a run because they have the talent to do that.
So you mean to tell me right now, you think that the Cowboys could beat any team in the playoffs right now that they would play if they make it?
I think, not saying now the Cowboys as good as Green Bay right now, no, because they don't have Dak Prescott in my eyes and their defense is not as good. 1, 2, could they beat New Orleans Saints? No, but
no.
On paper, could they? No, but can they any given Sunday? Yeah, I've seen shit happen.
Yeah, we all have, but not this year. Not this year. Not against those teams.
Why not? Why not? The Jets won 2 games in a row. Did we see that coming?
No, they've won 3 in a row, actually.
There you go. Did we see that coming? No. We thought they were going to lock up the first round pick, but they didn't care for that. They wanted to win games. They didn't want to be that team to do it. Shit can happen. These things can happen. Defensively, we could step up in the playoffs and offensively play the same way we are and still win those games. We could go against Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers could go 3 pick sixes. We could go and win that game. You get to the playoffs if you have the chance because anything can happen.
And as an organization, maybe just getting in is enough for them to realize, what do they have? Right? 100%. Is their talent good enough, or do they just fire sale the next year and tear it all down? You don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Let me ask you all a question right now. You guys look at the Cowboys as a whole. Are they a fucking 7-9 team?
Yes.
Their roster. Their fucking roster is a 7-9 roster.
Beginning of the season, no.
No. Talent, no.
That's my point. That's my point.
Yeah,
okay,
no, I would say
you can make the playoffs, and this year where you have all that talent and everything go wrong for you this year, and you still make the playoffs, and you can still possibly make a run, I give it a go.
That's a good point, man. I mean, for all the injuries and everything that happened, dude, 7-9, that's pretty fucking salvageable. Mm-hmm. No, I mean, you guys are right. I agree with that. That is definitely would be a hell of a moral victory. Maybe Brock, you're right on, man. Maybe let's get into the playoffs and see what kind of heart these guys have. These high paid players that we have. Let's see if they're really about it. You know, let's see if these guys are about winning games and playing meaningful football. And these are the guys we want to build with. Or do we start trading some of these pieces away because their heart doesn't seem to be in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
I think we'll
Zeke
see. Back. Right?
Yeah.
Like, is that the motivation that Zeke needs to say, hey, we're a legitimate team? Like, let me show up. I got my contract. I haven't done anything all year. Maybe I play.
I agree. That's another reason I think they've not lost a few games, but like they don't have that extra spark. Zeke doesn't seem to be playing with any type of passion to me. No. Like he looks to be playing like, no, he doesn't want to get hurt. He's like, fuck, I can't get hurt because I'm gonna lose money in my contract. And it's like, I don't know, man. I kind of want to debate that too, because the more and more I'm starting to see teams that pay running backs really high, it's not working, dude. I don't think you need to pay a running back in today's NFL. I really look at Le'Veon Bell, and as much as to go Le'Veon Bell, we're like, oh, the Bills needed him, dude. He does not look the same. He's arguably one of the best situations for him. He doesn't look good, man. He looks. I don't even know. Like he's lost like 2 steps.
Slower, yeah. But that's the thing, though.
Slow, no explosiveness. All right, go ahead, Darrell.
Yeah, especially for him though, in his defense, he kind of sat out 2 years, which I think it doesn't really matter what sport you play in. Man, if you sit out 2 years, man, you are going to be deteriorated as a player. Right?
No,
So,
yeah, true, but he's not 35. How old is
yeah,
Le'Veon Bell?
but
30, 31?
yeah, but it doesn't matter
I
though,
don't
man. It
even
doesn't
think
matter.
that.
He's
It
28.
doesn't really matter how old. It doesn't really matter how old you are. But if you're not getting game reps, if you're not playing at a in-game speed, man, it's going to take a lot of time for you to get back into in-game form. And also, you have to account for all the other guys that have been playing since he was out. Those defenses, those guys were always in. They're always playing. So him coming back in, not at game form, and also losing a step. Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same Le'Veon that he was back
Maybe.
But he
in.
lost a step in my head. But he lost a step the year he took off, and he's never been
Yeah.
the same runner. But
I
he's just
agree.
like him.
I agree. Look at
You just don't see the
LaShawn
burst.
McCoy. Dude,
No.
LaShawn McCoy has more burst on his 10 plays that he gets in a game.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And LaShawn McCoy's way older, dude. Like he's older, he's been in the league longer. Like
But Le'Veon's never been that kind of runner though. That burst out that burst running back. He's always
no,
been
I
a very
disagree.
patient
No,
runner.
he
He's been a
is
very
a
patient
patient
runner.
runner.
is a burst runner.
Yeah,
No, that's
No.
what exactly that he is a burst runner. He's
Exactly.
patient and then hits the hole. Dude, that
But
shit's
hits the hole,
gone,
but
man.
hits the hole, but it's never been like a 4-3 or 4-2 runner. Right. So he's
No,
always
no.
and that's
No,
exactly but that's the thing that he's patient, and once he finds his hole and finds the gap, like when was the last time you saw Le'Veon take an 80-yard run to the house? Quite
He
some
played
time.
for the
Dude.
Jets. Why? When opportunities?
Yeah.
In Pittsburgh, when was the last time you saw Le'Veon took an 80-yard rush to the house?
Dude,
You know what I
Le'Veon
mean?
was incredible in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was.
But I
He was.
think
He was incredible. He was
Yeah.
incredible. He was incredible, but he was never a guy that can take an 80-yard to the house. He's a situational back.
Le'Veon,
I don't
the
agree,
guy that
man.
Ben Roethlisberger would drop a screen off to, and he would take it to the
And
house.
take it to the house. Yeah,
But
that's
that's
why
a screen. But that's a screen.
why
But that's a
Le'Veon
screen,
Bell
though.
sat out a year because he thought he was so good because of the shit he did in Pittsburgh for those 2 years.
Mhm.
That look, dude, I want top tier money, and dude, I think the whole NFL, including Pittsburgh, was like, dude, no running backs. Not to say that they're a dime a dozen,
Mhm.
but like we can probably draft one with a good O line to be 90% of how good you are. And that's what I think where they fucked up when they signed Zeke, because man, we've all talked about it. How much better does Pollard look when he's back there playing the whole game?
That team looks better with Pollard back there right now.
Way better.
100%.
Dude, all of a sudden that team is like, you don't want to play the team when Tony Pollard's starting. But when Zeke's starting, that doesn't scare me, dude. Maybe Zeke at the 2-yard line where he can, bulldoze a ball in. But like Zeke as the starter of the Cowboys, to me is, I don't want to say it's a downgrade, dude, but like, I know I got a Madonna on that side that ain't trying to get hurt. So he's probably going to go down easy. You know what I'm saying? He's probably going to lose interest in the game if the first quarter doesn't go his way. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's where the Cowboys have been fucking up. Like, why pay DeMarcus Lawrence all that money? Why pay Zeke all that money? Maybe the one person they should have paid was Dak and let everybody else fucking go. You know what I mean?
But they are going to play. They were going to pay Dak.
They were.
I still think they are. I think that they know Dak's a better quarterback than Dalton. Look what we're doing right now. Look at the NFC East and how shit it is, and how far away other teams are, in my eyes, compared to the Cowboys to actually go and win this division next year or a couple of years coming. And I think they look at that and say, okay, quarterback is in a position we need to go and draft and rework. We have a guy that can actually make things happen. Let's go pay him and let's go and build our defense.
But dude, you should know that from day one. Look at, like, Brock, chime in. Look what they do with Josh Allen. They built around your quarterback. Look what they did with Patrick Mahomes. You built around your quarterback.
But they drafted Josh Allen in the first round. Josh Allen didn't take over because of injury. Okay, Dak Prescott kick over because of injury. Dak Prescott had a fantastic team in front of him when he took over. Josh Allen didn't. Josh Allen put the team on his back.
No, but
Dak Prescott has had more to prove than Josh Allen did.
But Dak proved, though. He proved that, I'm an elite quarterback. And the year before, Dak's been pretty good since he's been there, man.
Okay, so 2018, they were 10-6. 2017 they were 9-7. 2016 13-3.
Yeah, in 2017,
but Dak was the constant good there, though.
2017 was his first full year as a starter. Went 9-7. Then came back the next year, went 13-3. Okay, which was great, fantastic, right? And then the next year, it wasn't that as great. He didn't show as great of signs. People questioned his deep ball, his this, that, and the next. So you have the option of franchise tag a guy and let him prove you. Me as a business, I'm doing that. I'm not signing.
But that's where I think they fucked up. They should have signed him and made, like, dude, LaMarcus Lawrence, he don't need all that money. Zeke doesn't need all that money. They fucked up when they decided to pay Zeke and not Dak. I think that's when shit went wrong in Dallas.
I disagree. Because right now, even if they pay Dak, what's the difference? He was still playing for us. They didn't have to pay. They had to pay Zeke before Dak. Zeke's contract was up before Dak's.
Yeah, but it's
So
about how you
let
build
him
your
walk.
roster, right?
No, you can't because you didn't have another running back behind you. You didn't have a Tony Pollard. Zeke
Yeah,
was
you
a
did.
no,
He
you
did.
didn't. Okay, Zeke was a 3-time rushing leader going into the year they signed him. You don't let that guy walk.
Yeah, you do, because
you
that's what you should do in today's NFL, dude. A good old line. I don't think you need to pay a top. Dude, look at Derrick Henry. Great as he been. He was like, he still got like
So
less money
Jordan,
than a few other guys.
here's the argument.
Yeah,
Would
I
you
agree.
have been fine,
The football.
Jordan? Would you have been fine with Robert Mostert?
What's that, sir?
Would have you been fine with Mostert
Yep.
Would have I been fine
instead
with?
of Zeke? Yeah,
I would.
you could have gone undrafted free agent.
You're
He
asking
was
if I'd
sitting
rather-
in free agency.
If you're asking me if I'd rather Zeke Elliott or Mostert, I'm taking Zeke Elliott, guys. Come on.
No,
This year?
man. No, man. I
Any
don't.
year.
No, dude.
Zeke Elliott's got way more talent than Mostert does.
Yeah.
But does that
then,
convert into winning games?
right.
Yes,
Exactly.
it does. Just not
So-
this year. Not this year.
So
It has
is
to work out
Zeke
this year, but
this
nothing's
year?
worked out for them this year.
So
But
Jordan,
look
is
at
Zeke
Mostert
the
plays-
difference of
Mostert
4
plays
games this year?
games. Zeke's healthy. Zeke plays almost every game other than suspensions. Mostert's only played like 6 games. He's injured every fucking year. Zeke is a solid back, comes out there, puts consistently up 1,000 yards. Okay, won 3 rushing titles out of 4 years so far. You can't not pay that, guys. Come on.
I think it's the O
debating that he's not
line,
good.
dude. I think
more
it's
the
the O
philosophy.
line. I really that's the thing, bro. You're putting a lot of stock in that it's Zeke, but like, dude, a healthy Mostert could put up those numbers. Look what Tony Pollard did 2 weeks ago.
Tony Pollard's a good running back, and teams don't scheme for him like they do for Zeke. You got to understand, in the NFL, you plan to play certain players. They don't know what you get from Tony Pollard from very little film that you get from these guys. You know what you're going to get
I
from.
think
You're gonna know how to
in
game
today's NFL, you don't. It's a different type of league, man. I think your organization, you fuck up when you pay too much money for a running back, because you can go get these guys as good in the draft or free agents, man, for less money, because now you have more budget for the quarterback, some receivers, a fucking
they
O
still have the
lineman.
budget, but that's the thing. They're not loss of money, guys. It's not like they're out of money. They still have all this money to pay all these people.
I get that, but then they hesitated to give
No,
Dak
but it's
his money.
where
Because
where
they-
you spend the
but
money. That's the
they hesitated to give Dak his money for the reason that they did not think Dak was there yet.
How though, with his numbers? How do you think he's not there when you look at his numbers? And
They think who's got that playing in the background?
I don't have anything playing in the
Turn
background.
that off.
There's nothing in the background.
Yeah.
That's weird. Why am I hearing something? Okay, sorry, that's weird. It was fucking playing in my headphones then. Regardless, so Zeke or Dak to me still had something to prove to them. Okay, because he had all these weapons, they wanted him to prove it. They said, listen, play for your contract. Not to mention, Tony, they offered him $35 million and he turned it down.
True. No, they did. They did offer him a good
Okay,
contract.
he was the one being greedy. It's not like they didn't say, hey, Dak, we're not paying you. They offered him 33 to start. He said no. They offered him 34. He said no. They offered him 35. He said no. They offered him 36. He wanted 40. So it's not Dallas. That's not
but
Dallas.
maybe Dallas, but that's the type of environment Dallas has built. Because then he's like, "Yo, look how much money Zeke got. I'm worth way more money to this team than Zeke."
They don't look at what running backs get, what cornerbacks get.
No,
They
I'm
say,
saying-
he said, look what Wentz got. It's
Do we
Philly's
blame him?
He was saying the quarterback market. He deserved more money.
It's
But
nothing
I
to
mean-
do with Zeke, man. It's got nothing to do with that.
As of
But
right
Jordan,
now, he's
look at
not
the
wrong.
Bills right now, and we're paying our running backs like $500K a year.
Yeah, I
And
get it.
doesn't matter.
You guys
You
didn't-
don't need a running back.
They felt like they needed Zeke at the time.
Kansas City. Kansas City doesn't need it.
Yep.
Nope, they didn't
What
need
about
it.
Green Bay? They don't pay Aaron Jones.
Good point with Green Bay. Yep.
Green Bay's got to sign Aaron Jones still.
No, but they're gonna let Aaron
They're
Jones
not
walk
going to
because
because they have AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon. Exactly,
drafted
bro.
a right
Regardless of what that is, when Green Bay still didn't win a Super Bowl, they're not winning a Super Bowl right now. They haven't won a Super Bowl since what, 2017. So I mean, you got
Still a hell of
at
a
the
run.
time you had a recipe where you were running the football. That was your go-to, was run the football, and you did it very, very well. And every year in and year out, you had the recipe to run the football. You signed the running back that's winning you the fucking ball games. When the Dallas
They
Cowboys,
had the highest paid offensive line, Jordan. Now they're all hurt.
I know
Yep.
they.
I agree, man. That's what I'm saying, bro. I don't.
I
I
think that's
don't
the
think the
difference,
recipe
though, right?
is. Yeah, you don't pay a
Tyron
running back that
getting
kind of money.
older. Zach Martin got hurt.
Yeah,
What is it? Frederick or whatever, the center, hurt. I think he's back right now, but At the end of the day, they have the highest paid O-line, maybe one of the most dominant.
Fredericks is done for a year. His career's over.
Okay, he's done. And the rest is they don't have the offensive line they used to. So they were winning games with or without Zeke, in my opinion.
I agree. They were winning games because they had a killer O-line.
Zeke right now, guys, okay, has not been the Zeke that we all know, and he still almost has 1,000 rushing yards with fucking O-linemen that are picking up off the streets. Almost 1,000 yards still.
Bro, 1,000 yards is not the measuring stick anymore. But it's not the measuring stick anymore. Dude, see how many players are going to have almost 1,000 yards?
Jordan, James Robinson has 1,000 yards.
Yes, James Robinson was one of the best backs in the league this year.
Yeah, but he also got the ball damn near 30 times a game in a really bad offense.
And Zeke didn't.
Right, but I'm saying 1,000 yards is not the measuring stick in today's NFL no more, bro.
It's still very good when you have a shitty O-line out there and your team is you can't win a game. It's still a very good rushing stat, guys. Okay, don't
saying 1,000-yard rusher isn't a bad running stat. Yeah. Like that's not what we're trying to say. It's just not the measuring stick. Derrick Henry's about to go for 2,000.
Yep.
But Derrick Henry won the rushing title last year at 1,500. Zeke had 1,400 the year he ran the rushing title. So he's only 400 yards off in a season where they don't have that great O-line.
Almost 700 yards.
Great team. Okay, so come on. Like you're literally.
Dude, 700 yards is a big difference, bro. Like even 1,000 to 1,400 is a big difference, man.
When you're down, when your team's doing shit, you've been injured, you've had shit happening. Like, come on, like what do you want from that team? And he's still putting up 1,000 yards. And they didn't even definitely didn't overpay him. They paid him what he needed to do. They're not at a lack of money. They're still paying Dak. They still offered Dak contracts. So I don't even know why we're having that conversation.
Because I think it was whether or not you pay running backs.
Yeah, that was the debate.
2020.
I don't think so.
2020, no, but they didn't pay him in 2020. I agree.
They paid him what 2017. Even then, dude, I don't think you've paid. Backs shouldn't have been paid since like 2015, arguably, maybe 2016.
You got to look at the year they paid him. They went 13-3 that year. Okay, and Zeke was their main point of winning, and they thought, let's pay this guy, and we're gonna go get ourselves a Super Bowl.
But that's on Jerry Jones, because look at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh when they didn't sign Bell, dude, they were like still contenders, man, legitimate contenders, and they were like, nah, we're not signing Bell to $30 million.
But they franchise tagged him and said, prove yourself, and he held out. Then I'm not signing you if you hold out. No,
because they were gonna pay him the money that he wanted, so that's why he decided to hold out a year. So and then look what the Jets did, dude. The Jets paid him. Okay, and now look how bad the Jets are. He don't even play for the team anymore. They have a bad coach. Like, dude, the Jets they're a laughing stock of the league, man.
No, Jacksonville is.
No, hell no. I'd rather go, dude. If I was Trevor Lawrence, like I'm Trevor Lawrence, and I'm about to be the #1 pick, trust me, I'd rather go to Jacksonville than fucking New York Jets, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, that's not even a debate.
Would you rather play in the AFC East? You don't want to go there right now. You're about to play behind Josh Allen for the next 15 years.
Absolutely. I don't know. With the Jets talking about firing Adam Gase and stuff, who knows what they're going to do? It could they could bring in a nice college coach. You know what I mean? Make things happen.
Man, I don't know, bro. The Jets are bad, dude. If I was Trevor Lawrence, the last thing I'd want to do is go play for the damn Jets, man. Like, no way.
So here's my final point.
I know. In a year, I just looked this up. In a year where Zeke Elliott, and the Cowboys have been terrible, Zeke has had no fucking help out there in regards to anything. He's the 8th top rusher in the league.
Yeah, I get that, bro. 8th, but like, how many running backs in that list make way less money that you can probably go draft or pick up in free agency? The argument is, dude, you don't need to pay
James Robinson
crazy money to get Zeke type production anymore.
But some of these guys are younger and haven't gotten paid yet and will get paid more.
So Jordan, what do you think about this? 2017, the Dallas Cowboys were 9-7. Zeke in 2017 had 4.1 yards per attempt and averaged 98 yards per game.
Okay.
This year they're 6-9. He averages 4.1 yards, but only 4.1 yards per attempt, 66 per game.
Yep.
So is he the difference of 4 games?
No O-line. They have no O-line.
Same yards per attempt. But it's the same yards per attempt.
In that year, in 2017, guess who got injured there? Zach Martin, Tyron Smith. We had Travis Fredericks was out that year too. No O-line.
For sure. So here's the debate. You pay him $15 million a year, or do you give $7.5 million more to both your DNs or get another one?
Mm-hmm.
But
does that not make your team better?
Why would they pay $7.5 more if they've already paid their DNs?
Okay. What if you add 2 more corners at $8 million a year?
But they can still do that. They have the money to do that. They could have done that, but they
Then
did.
why aren't they? Right? If Jerry Jones is serious about
That I
winning,
don't
why
know.
doesn't he do that?
Guys, money isn't an issue with Dallas Cowboys. Why they didn't do that, I don't know, but it has nothing to do with signing a player.
It's not that the money's issue, but they still go into the luxury tax. Like it is a bit of a thing, bro. Like
Not
when you
an
have
issue.
that much money in your running backs and your quarterback, they're like, all right, well, we got to see because
It hurts.
basically they're trying to play the game where they
Have money
think
in their quarterback right
it's
now.
almost like they think they can get the same type of talent at half the money to me on the wrong positions. Like they think they can get the same type of talent at like cornerback, safety. No, dude, it don't work
Running
that way.
back isn't the premier position in the NFL anymore.
To
It just
pay
isn't.
big money. I agree, man. I think it's quarterback, maybe some safety, some cornerbacks. Like, dude, like today's league throws the ball so
I
much.
agree with you. Did they have to pay him? No. But they did, and I have paid him, yeah, because honestly, at the time there wasn't anyone better. You had the best running back in the league on your team. You pay him.
I would have let him walk, man. I'd have let him walk at his. I mean, if it was an easy, maybe like, and obviously you weren't there, but if it was an easy thing, he gave out the contract offer, and they were like, "Yeah, fuck it, we'll do it." But I mean, if it was a bit of like some going back and forth, like Dak, like this and that, I'd have been like, "Nah, man. You know what? I think we can get with the O line that we have with Dak Prescott at quarterback. I think we can get similar production at way less money, and let's go build some better
I don't
positions."
think
That's
they
what I
pay
would.
him that much, guys. He's getting $15 million a year. That's
That's
not
a lot for the quarterback. For the running back position, that's a lot, bro.
the
15
third
million
highest-
a year.
it's the
More than
third
Derrick
highest-
Henry.
Hold on, it's the third highest right now, and people still haven't even been paid. And Derrick Henry is not a three. They didn't consider him when they signed him as a 3-down back. So that's why he lost money. Okay, you lose money when you're in the NFL when you're not a 3-down back. He's the third highest paid running back right now, and there's still other running backs that are going to get a lot more money than him. Okay, so. You don't think that Nick Chubb's going to get more money than him? You don't think that
They have to split the money between him and Hunt.
Josh Jacobs going to get more money than him? No,
Nope.
because they just signed Hunt. Hunt's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
No.
3 for like 13.
Yeah, okay. You don't think that these guys are all going to get more money than him? You don't think that's the way the league's going, the way that these guys are, the cap's going up? You don't think that Austin Eckler may
Cap's
get
not going up. Cap's going down this year.
I'm saying that the way that they
Coming down like 30 million.
people get paid more every year. So the
Yeah.
way that goes, you don't think that these guys are going to get more money than Zeke? Hands down, they will.
No, dude. No, I really not Eckler. None of those guys. No
Okay,
way.
watch Josh Jacobs. When he signs again, we'll
He'll
get
get a
more.
massive deal. I won't deny that Josh Jacobs is
Get a
going to
massive
get a massive
deal.
deal.
Okay, hands freaking down. He's going to get a massive deal. Josh Jacobs is going to get more. I can tell you in the next 2 years, Zeke is probably the 8th highest paid running back, 5th to 8th highest paid running back.
Yeah, but that's you saying in 2 or 3 years he's gonna be a lot older. That's different. That's different. The whole thing.
But that's why you sign for what you do when you do, because you sign for 5 years. You look at things down the road. Okay, that's why teams pay you that way, because you look at how the market's going to look down the road and where you're going to be down the road. Even if he's still the top running back, he's going to be getting paid the 8th. That's still a steal. That's how Dallas looks at things. That's how, as a team, you have to look at things, guys.
So here's the one thing that I'm missing here. So, we talked about the stats, the money, the value that he adds to the team. But what we haven't talked about is what he's added to the locker room. They're 6-9 this year, and I haven't heard Zeke go in a press conference yet and said it's my fault.
Yep.
Right?
I agree, man.
So leadership, he's not the guy. So I'd actually value paying a running back if he brings something to the table in the locker room.
And put all of that on you. But it's not Zeke's fault.
You said he's the highest paid running back. Why shouldn't he?
He's the 3rd highest paid running back.
So why isn't he?
Why is it his fault that they're 7-9? He's going to go out into the press conference and say, "Hey guys, I'm sorry the Dallas Cowboys are shit this year. It's my fault."
One of the
He should
leaders.
go and saying, "I'm having my worst year ever.
Yep.
It's my fault."
Yeah. Or like, you know what? We're gonna be better. Like, do something.
But it's not his fault, guys.
We're not
There's
saying
COVID,
it's his
there's
fault,
COVID.
but like, dude, you're right. Leadership is everything. Leadership is everything.
But he's had press conferences. He's came out and said, "This is what we need to do better. We need to do this better. You guys just didn't see that."
Man, it's not the same.
How is it not the same?
It's just not the same. I still think, man, like, I don't know, man. I just think the teams that are winning it all, like the formula, I think to build a team, a Super Bowl winning team, I don't think it's paying running backs crazy money, man. Like, I don't think that's the recipe.
It's quarterback for rookie deals, and
I don't know. I don't know. He's not getting crazy money.
When he got signed, he did, and he's still top 3.
He didn't get crazy money when he got signed. And
Bro,
at the time,
$15 million a year for a running back is a lot of money.
He was a 3-year rushing title person. He ran the fucking rushing title 3 years in a row.
Yeah, I get that, bro. I get that.
How do you not get that money? Someone was going to pay him that money, regardless.
So let somebody else do it.
I wouldn't have. I would sign him. I want him on my football team. 150%, no question asked. You don't think Buffalo would be a better fucking team right now with Zeke in the backfield?
No, it's a waste of money.
Mm-hmm.
That means we wouldn't pay Trey White.
That's right.
You guys, no fucking way.
We don't need a running back.
It's not a waste.
We've proven we don't need one.
Okay. Watch. You prove me wrong.
Bro, Daryl, what do you think, bro? Because we got to get off. Because we've been on for like an hour and a half. But what do you think? Like, do you think?
I'm trying to watch my game.
Do you think that running back should be paid high? Like they should be like a high money.
Deserve it.
I don't believe so. Just because, especially with the way the league is trending towards now, with it's a high volume passing league, right? Even just look at Derrick Henry, like you guys said, even when he signed the offseason, bro, he was the third highest running back that got paid, right? So especially with even I think when they restructured his contract, they pretty much see exactly what all those running backs they were doing that just got signed. They weren't stepping to the plate like they were before they got fed, right? Zeke got fed, and guess what? He's not performing like he was supposed to, even though we may say it's O-line or whatever like that. But then Brock did have a really good point. Is what is he really doing in that locker room that's also propelling the guys that are taking on those roles of his starting O-line, right? Mm-hmm. So if he as a leader is propelling those guys to play better, Zeke also might have a better game and also have a better season because Pollard.
But he is a locker guy. He's advocating in the locker room, and players have all said that.
But just look at Pollard. Pollard has been doing more in the last couple of weeks than Zeke. I think Zeke had his best game last week.
Because right? I think that people know how to scheme against Zeke better.
That means you're too highly paid if you can get schemed against.
I agree.
Look at Derrick Henry. Look at Derrick Henry. They scheme him. They put 8 in the box.
Yep, and he's still balling.
Yeah, but they paid him. And Derrick Henry, guys, you were looking at a Dallas Cowboys team with fucking third-string O-linemen and 2 O-linemen that they signed for free agency.
Bro, we're not. That's not what we're talking about right now.
No,
you're looking at it like right now. We're looking at from the day they gave him that contract. That's where they messed up. Like we're saying, running backs shouldn't be paid. Like it shouldn't be.
I'm not saying
one of your biggest things on your roster.
If you have the money and you have a good running back and you have the cap to fucking pay him, why wouldn't you pay him? That's my point.
Because I get way better positions that help me win Super Bowls. It's not the running back position.
What if you have the money elsewhere? What if you have the money to fulfill all these other positions and your running back? Why would you let him walk?
But the whole argument was that they didn't. They didn't have enough money to pay Dak, Cooper, and Zeke. That was the argument.
When they had, but they did. They actually paid Dak. They paid Zeke.
They tried to.
They paid Zeke. They paid Cooper. They paid Jalen Smith. They paid Marcus Lawrence, and they offered Dak $34 million. So what do you mean they couldn't have it? They had it all. So why not pay these guys? If you have it, why wouldn't you pay them?
I bet you if Zeke didn't make the money that he makes, there's no question that they give Dak his contract. No question.
But they did give him his contract.
Not the one he wanted. Not the one he wanted.
Originally, they gave him $33 million. He asked for 36. They gave him 36. He asked for 40. You guys, you were the fucking one saying don't pay Zach.
I know. I get that. But I bet you if they had more money, they would have gave him his 40. It wouldn't have been a question.
I'm telling you right now. We didn't sign Zeke. Okay, let's say we didn't sign Zeke and we paid Dak. Everybody in the fucking world would have said, why would they give Dak $40 million? They're fucking stupid. Now he's injured. What idiots? This, that, and the next. But now we didn't pay Dak. You guys were saying at the beginning of the season, I would never pay Dak. Let's go back to the videos. You guys said
I know.
I would never give Dak more than $30 million.
But that's not the argument, bro. The argument is that they paid Zeke too much money. That in today's league, you don't need to pay running backs $15 million a year. That you're spending too much.
I'm agreeing that in today's league, you don't need to pay.
Even in 2017.
Even in 2017, okay, you didn't need to pay it. Great. But if you had it and you have a league leading rusher and you had it and there's no question as to you can sign all your guys later on, you're not going to sign your guy? No question.
So here's the debate. Better. Jordan, would you have added Zeke Elliott or Danielle Hunter, Jarrell Casey, Melvin Ingram, K1 Short, J. Watt
But
Does that not make your team better than adding Zeke?
They didn't have a chance to have a J.J. Watt. They didn't have a chance to get those guys. They just drafted a Jalen Smith that year and a Van Der Esch the next year that they believed in. They didn't need those guys. That's what I'm saying. In the certain scenario that those guys were in, they didn't need anything else but to keep Zeke. So why
But
would
they were ready to make a run.
Yeah, man. They were ready to make
They're
a run.
still not ready to make a run.
And they had the team to do that. And the only piece they needed to sign was Zeke that helped them become 13-3 the year before. That was the team. That was the guy that helped them be 13-3 the year before. So why wouldn't you pay him if you're ready to make that run?
I don't know, man. I think like to finish off my
guys in the fact that you don't need a running back to win it this year. My point is if you have the money, you just went 13-3. Okay, why? And you're the league leading rusher, and you have no question as to sign anyone else later because you know you're going to sign them. Why would you let a guy walk if you can afford him and everyone else?
Because I let him walk because I think, to finish off the episode, because I think it's not a matter of just Zeke. I think that O-line that they had was that good that you can plug in somebody maybe 90% is good and give you similar production for a lot less money. And then from there, at a 13-3 season or a team that's trying to build a Super Bowl contender, I can go try to get me some better, safeties, cornerbacks, something.
So hindsight is always better, Jordan. If they didn't pay Zeke, they drafted Leighton Van Der Esch 19th overall, 2018. The year after Zeke got paid, Nick Chubb was taken 20 picks later.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could have drafted guys. They could have drafted Jalen Ramsey and passed on Zeke and got Derrick Henry in the second round too. Coulda, shoulda, woulda. It didn't happen. But my point is if you have the fucking money, you have a league leading rusher, whether or not it's the recipe to winning or not, you have a guy in the backfield that is that good. Okay, and you have the money. I'm paying him.
Pittsburgh had the money for Le'Veon Bell. They just weren't willing to do it. They were like, no, we don't want to pay this position that much money. Pittsburgh did not have the money. They just weren't willing to do it.
Bell was a locker room issue the year before, if you guys recall that. So they said to Bell,
and he always gets performance-enhancing drugs. He's always out 4 games.
Bell, you play on this franchise tag that gives you the 5th most paid high running back in the year, and you play this year, and we'll talk next year. And you know what he did? He held out. That's why he didn't get his money. If he shows up and pays, Le'Veon Bell's the highest paid running back in the league right now.
I don't think so. I don't think Pittsburgh would have signed him.
Pittsburgh already talked about bringing him back last year.
Yeah, but you get him back at a discount.
No, it's not a discount. He's getting $13.5 million a year.
No, not on Pittsburgh's books, man. Like the money that Kansas City's paying, the Jets are still paying him, dude.
Yeah, they ate a bunch of his salary.
They cut him though. Not if they traded him, they would have taken his contract. The Jets are still paying him because they cut him, but they were going to trade for him, which then you take on the salary, you take on the contract, unless they retain it.
Yeah, and then they didn't. And they didn't do it
because the Jets wouldn't want to pull the trigger.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
That was the issue. So I'm just trying to say, I know it's not the recipe for success, but you're trying to tell me that if you have a stud running back, you ain't going to pay him. Derrick Henry only makes $2.5 million less than Zeke.
Yeah, I know. And arguably could have made more because of the market.
But because of the way football is, the fact that he's not considered a 3-down back, he had to lose money.
And he changed that.
Otherwise, he would have got more than fucking Zeke.
I don't think so. I don't think so, man.
I do because Zeke isn't the Dallas Cowboys, whereas Derrick Henry is the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah, but they built their team around a player. The Dallas Cowboys didn't build it around Zeke. So why do you need a Zeke?
You don't need him. I'm not saying that you needed Zeke. I didn't say
why pay him?
They could have let him walk because they had it. You have that's my point. I'm not saying, do we need him? No. Did we need him? No. Could someone else have done it? Yes. But you have a guy that's a 3-year rushing title person from his rookie year, running back from his rookie year, and you guys are almost in your head are Super Bowl ready. You're not starting from scratch from that position. You're paying him what you have because you think you're going to win a Super Bowl soon. Because you're keeping all the same pieces. You want to keep the same team you had from 13-3 because the only reason you lost was because of fucking stupidity. Okay.
Yeah, you've been saying, not you, sorry, the Dallas Cowboys and Jerry Jones have said they're Super Bowl ready for like the last 2 decades. When is it going to change?
After that 13-3 season, there wasn't one fucking person in the world that thought we weren't.
I agree. You guys have all the talent.
My point.
For the last 2 years, where's it gone?
Money. That's why Zeke got his money. If we missed the playoffs and shit, I don't think Zeke gets that. I think Zeke took advantage of a situation where he knew, listen, you guys need me to help you get there. You guys know you're almost there. Jerry, you're almost there. Pay me. And he got his damn money.
They got him there on a rookie contract. That's the debate.
Exactly.
He was there without being paid.
I
That's
agree.
right.
That's why he's saying this year you pay me, or I ain't coming back. And you know I helped you get there. So Jerry's not going to be like, okay, I'm not throwing this season away now because I can't pay this guy, even though I have the money, even though I don't want to. And if you guys recall, they didn't want to pay him at first.
Well, that's the whole thing. We're not arguing that Zeke had a good agent and that he had value and he made the team better. That's not the debate. The debate is whether or not you pay him.
But
Yeah, pay running backs in general.
They did not, and I agreed with you guys that I don't think running back are a recipe for success anymore. But the fact that they paid Zeke, would I have done it in the situation? 100%. Is Zeke worth the $15 million? 100%, because of the situation they were in.
If they lose today and don't make the playoffs, do they cut him?
No,
I would.
No,
how do you save roster space cap space?
I think this year they restructure a couple of people. I think
I think he's not worth the money.
I'm saying that Zeke got the money at the time because of the situation he was in.
But it was a bad move. It was a bad move by Jerry Jones. That's what I think too.
He had a lot of money. It had nothing to do with a bad move. Running backs just digress sometimes. It just happens.
Zeke, that's exactly what we're saying.
You don't pay him.
You didn't know that from Zeke at the time. Okay, so at the time, paying Zeke was not a fucking bad move. It's still not a bad move because it's money that's already accounted for. It's done with. It's not really. They're fine.
In regards to that, though, man, the running back position, they have the shortest shelf life in the NFL. So for him to get that kind of money was kind of a gamble. But that was kind of a gamble.
He's an exception. He's a Hall of Fame running back.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Fame running back.
What do you mean?
He's only a Hall of Fame running back because
he's not a Hall of Fame running back.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I agree. Dude, this is too good. We got it, Mark. You got to get back on. This is great debates. But let's go ahead and end it, my bros. We've been on for about an hour and 45. It's gonna be a dope episode. Can't wait to put it out. Because obviously we can get real passionate talking about football, 4 of us. But dude, it's been amazing, Brock. We'll definitely get you back on, man, because I think it's good debates, man. I think just the way we all look at football, as far as just the way we look at it, the way we think, football teams should build to win. But regardless, man, I appreciate you jumping on.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, of course. We'll see if we maybe get you back on for the playoffs, maybe next week or the week after, talk about playoff matchups. But yeah, man, I think just to kind of finish it off, just want to thank everybody for watching. I know this went way longer than we intended to, but I think it's been pretty good all the way through. But yeah, man, I just want to say thank you, everybody. It's your boy TG. I'm going to go ahead and sign out. Brock, I'll let you tell everybody bye, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Well, first and foremost, thanks for having me here today, guys, and I look forward to doing more.
Definitely.
But yeah, let's go. Hopefully, see how the NFC least pans out today. So it's gonna be a very interesting game.
Maybe Zeke goes for 200 and we're all wrong.
I hope so. I hope Zeke goes for 200 and we're wrong.
If he goes for 200, even if he goes for 20, you guys are still wrong because in the situation that they were in, you pay your running back knowing that next year you have a chance to fuck the Super Bowl.
Okay, so playoffs are on the line. If Zeke doesn't go for 200, he's not worth the money.
I agree. You pay a guy big money to get you there.
And he did help us get there when he got paid. So thank you. This is not a year where it really matters in my eyes right now. Whether I want to win. I would love to see if we lose. Am I still happy? Hands down.
I don't know, man. I think this is definitely a year where a $15 million guy should get you over the hump. Like, you know what I mean? That's why you paid him.
No, no. It's not a running back that's going to help you to get over the hump like that just because you paid him $15 million, bro. Just Christian McCaffrey is getting paid fucking $16 million. Did Carolina even make the playoffs?
He didn't play all year.
Doesn't matter. Yeah. Last year, did they make the playoffs?
No, they didn't make the playoffs.
My point, but $16 million guy should be able to get you there.
They overpaid him. On their team. Yeah, and they overpaid him too.
Zeke was the best player on our team too.
No, it wasn't. It was your offensive line. You admitted it.
No, but the offensive line as a whole, but the player. I'm talking about a single-ass player. Zeke
and I'm telling you, the running back is not the most important player.
Right.
Not
he is the most important player, but he was the most important player on our team at the time. That's the difference. I'm not saying a running back is the most important player, but Zeke was our best player at the time.
I think it was your 5 guys up front.
That's what I think too. I think it was those 5 old linemen. That's who they should have paid.
Guys, not individually, 5 as a whole. Yes, Zeke was our single best player. You're not listening to me. Single best player was Ezekiel Elliott.
Yeah.
Not the highest paid left tackle.
You know what I mean?
No, he wasn't that good. He's been digressing.
What do you mean?
15.
In 2017, him and Zach Martin were the best players on the field.
No,
Zach Martin is still the best player on the field.
Zach Martin is 100% one of the best O linemen in the league. Okay, but
So if he's the best O lineman in the
tell me
league,
that
he
Tyron
is the better player.
No, he's not. Zeke Elliott is the single most better player on that football field in 2017, guys.
Here's the debate, Jordan.
Say about it.
Zeke isn't going to be a Hall of Fame running back, and Zach Martin is a shoo-in.
Almost guarantee you, I bet you Zeke's a Hall of Fame running back.
Not at 66 yards per game.
Zach Martin will be a shoo-in at running back or at a lineman. I'm not questioning that. Zeke Elliott will be.
He was more important. He was better at his position.
No, at his position, but what about running back? Who was the best running back that year? Who was the best player on our team? Did Zach Martin single-handedly help us win? No, but Zeke single-handedly won us. No, he didn't, because Zach Martin could not be in that game, and Zeke would still put up the yards he did that year. Tyron Smith had not been in games that year, and Zeke still put up the numbers he did. Tyron Smith has been injured since fucking 2015 a lot, and Zeke still puts up those numbers every year.
Yeah, we're going position for position, and we're talking about a guy who's going to be a Hall of Famer versus a guy who may be a Hall of Famer. You pick the Hall of Famer.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree, man. I'm right there too.
And that's me being biased. I'm an O-line guy, and I fully accept that.
Most important player on that team that year.
Yeah.
I don't think it gets done without the five guys up front, let alone Zach Martin.
We're talking about a whole O-line. I'm talking about a fucking running back position. We're talking about the O-line as a whole, and I get that. But you're trying to tell me Zeke wouldn't have done what he did without Martin there? He would have.
100%.
Because Travis Fredericks was still there, because Tyron was still there. Those guys, O-line is a unity, bro. You know that. It's not just one guy. One guy does the work, but it's unity. As a running back, it's one guy. Yes, the unity helps you, but you still are one guy, and he was single-handedly our best player that year.
So you said this year he's not doing well because you're using guys off the street. Yes. You said Tyron Smith's out. You're saying Zach Martin's out. It's the same situation.
It's not, because we have.
Yeah, it is. You got two guys off the street playing offensive line.
Because we had Doug Free before. Okay, we had I can't remember his name anymore, but he was our starting right guard for a very left guard.
Ron O'Leary.
Yeah, Ron O'Leary. We had him before. So right now, we're out Zach Collins. We're out. We don't have a Travis Fredericks. We don't have a Tyron Smith. We don't have a Martin. We don't have a Doug Free. We don't have those guys. We have nobodies. You can, if I lose one starting O-lineman and still have four others, I'm still good. But I have 5 third-string linemen in right now. And what are you expecting?
I'm expecting the same results as this year.
I don't know how you can expect that.
I don't know, man.
I'll let you guys wrap up.
Expectations.
Yeah, we'll continue on another one, man. This is good. This is really good. But cool, man. Brock, I appreciate you, bro. We'll sign out. We'll everybody watch some football, and we'll reconvene next weekend to see what the playoffs do.
Over here, getting me going now, because because none of y'all's teams running backs are as good as Zeke Elliott.
Overpaid, man. But anyways, peace out, y'all. Love y'all, bros, man.
Peace, yep.
Peace, bros.